Hey peeps! I really hope this is working. So you guys are up on the cutting table, which means that I'm not really going to be able to read the chat. So I have my phone down here with the chat on. Hopefully this is working. Hopefully. Oh, I've got an advert. Caroline's here. Good morning. The chat's working on my phone, but not on the screen. Oh, it's okay. It's coming up later on there. So yeah, I have tried with the internet, and it seemed clear enough. So fingers crossed, it's clear today. We shall see. Yeah. So anyway, how is everybody? There are 20 of you here. So, oh, Carolyn is here. She says hello. Yeah, okay, so it looks like the chat up there is not going to work, so I'm going to try and that's not going to work either, so I'm going to try and prop my phone up in some way that I can see it. Hello from Sweden. Good afternoon, welcome. Sandy says, good morning, Sean and Peeps. Hello, Sandy. So how is the picture quality, guys? Can you hear me okay? Is it all working? Sue says, hello from Australia. Hi. Linda's here. Hello from New York. Carolyn says, from Australia. Good evening, then. MA, morning. Looks good. Judith says, hi, all. Picture is great. Josephine is here. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Oh, that's good. That's so good. Like I say, I tried it out on a private one, not last weekend, but the weekend before. And when I watched it back, it seemed fine. So fingers crossed it works today. We have the TP link, which is what used to give me internet in the Shan shed in the last place. So fingers crossed it's gonna work. So as you can see, I have a pile of things behind me. This is the 5748 Butterick dress. I need to film my review of the So Vintage Glam box experience, which I'm going to do tomorrow. Behind that is my Vogue 9296, which I have finished, and you guys are going to have to wait until the lookbook, the next lookbook, to see it, because it needs a very specific type of bra to be worn with it, and it's not the most comfortable of bras to wear, so it's not one that I want to put on for an entire day of like wearing. But this dress is a going out dress. I really like it. It's really different. It's definitely not one that I think I can casual up and wear on a day-to-day basis. It's definitely I'm going out for dinner kind of dress. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait to see that. And then I finished the waistcoat as well. So I have been filming the last couple of days, like I've been vlogging them, but I've been in a bit of a funk and kind of, yeah, so I have got 2 more videos coming out, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday next week, and then before they've come out, hopefully I will have filmed another vlog to go up after that. Like I say, I'm filming my So Vintage Glam box review tomorrow. I'm going to do a review of the 8577 Vogue shirt dress, because I've made so many of those and I've never done a review of it. So I thought I would show you guys the ones that I've made and my thoughts on the pattern. Because you guys seem to really like the separate reviews to the sew alongs, because I used to just kind of like wrap it up at the end of the last bit of the sew along what my thoughts on the pattern were. But I appreciate that if you haven't watched, or you might not want to watch the whole sew along or even scrub through the sew along to get to the review part, you might want to hear the review before you even sort of like tackle the sew alongs, as it were. So yeah, let's try and catch up with some of the chat. Let's see, where are we going? Caroline says the picture's good. Flo says good morning from Tennessee in the US. Good morning. Sue says you're looking gorgeous tonight. Thank you very much, Sue. I have put makeup on today and done my hair. I do like the dark hair, but I do feel very washed out without makeup on. And yeah, it's that kind of like, I'm allergic to makeup, so I don't wear it very often, which is why I've had my eyebrows and my eyelashes done. And then when I do wear it, I love how it looks, but then the next day I really pay for it. So it's one of those things that I do every now and again. But with the darker hair, for some reason, I just feel really washed out without makeup. So I have been putting it on more often. But that's fine. Let's see. Where did we get to with the chat? Yeah, sorry, I'm going to be looking down at the chat because I can see the chat up there, but my eyesight's not good enough to read it without really squinting and getting really close to you. But you're in a really great position because you can see, like, you know, you've got a really good view up there. Whereas if I put you on a box here, it's on a bit of the table that doesn't have any support underneath it, and I don't think the view would be quite as good. Let's see. Trying to catch up with the chat. Not doing a very good job. Olivia says, good morning from Iowa, 6 a.m. here. Today is Father's Day in America. Happy Father's Day to Danny, aka the Fifth. It is Father's Day here too. I got Dad something called bee bombs. They're like little pellets of clay that have got loads of wildflower seeds in them. And I bought him 5 little bags of those, which will cover 10 square meters of ground. And you'll end up with like a wildflower garden that the bees love. So that was Dad's Father's Day present from me and baby brother. Renske, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, says hi from Germany. Noelia says hi, Sean and Peeps. Olivia says, Sean, I absolutely love your new hair color. Thank you, Olivia. Sandy says hi from Canada. Alex is here. Hi, Sean and Peeps. Marie says hello from Colorado in the US. Laura says hi. Dilek says hi to everybody. It's so nice to see all the names that I remember as well. It's been so long since we've done one of these. Alison says, hi, Sean and Peeps. I can see you clearly from the other side of the world. It's good evening for you, isn't it, Alison? Kayla says hi from Alabama in the US. Hello. Debbie says, so nice to see you live again. Hi from drizzly Nottingham. It's kind of a bit overcast and grey here as well. Judy says, good afternoon, Sharon. Sorry to dash off on Friday, but Hans had been waiting in the car while Rachel and I were chatting. No worries, Judy. It was really nice to catch up with you and Rachel. Marta says, hello, everyone. I miss these streams so much. Hi, Marta. Welcome back. Flo says you are slightly out of focus. It is my laptop camera, like inbuilt camera. So the picture quality is never going to be the best in the world. And I think it will fluctuate because of the internet, as I say. So if it gets really, really bad, let me know. I'm not sure what I can do about it, but I will try. Carolyn says, love the dress you're wearing. I think it's my favorite thing, that and the hydrangea. Ah, thank you. Yes, I love this dress. I will be making many more of these, and you guys have asked for so long for lining it, so I will be doing that as well. Let's see. Olivia says, that's a great gift. I love that idea. Yeah, Dad's one of those really difficult people to buy for. He has everything that he wants already. So he's always like, I don't want stuff. I want experiences and things I can eat. And so it's not really an experience or anything that he can eat, but he is very much enjoying planning this new garden that we're in at the moment. And yeah, it just seemed like I saw them and I thought, oh, that's something that Dad will like. Tabitha says, hi, Peeps. So nice to see you all. Hello. Gin and Pins is here. Hello, Peeps. Patricia says, hi from Sydney, Australia. Hello. Olivia says her picture is clear. That's good. That's good. Flo, I'm sorry yours is a little out of focus. Right. So I have my Huel for lunch. Mum also made a carrot cake yesterday. So I have a giant slice of carrot cake. I have my 2 trouser muslins to sew up. Although I might do that with you guys today just to get it done, but I won't show you it because, as I mentioned previously, the calico is basically see-through, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going on the internet with my underwear. It's just not going to happen. So I might sew those up, and then you guys will just have to trust me on the fitting thing. I don't think I can get a darker base calico so that I could show you guys. I mean, it's slightly different with dresses because I can keep my slip on, and I tend to only make muslins of the bodice of dresses anyway, so that's a bit different. But trousers, I mean, it is, even with nude coloured underwear on, it's see-through. It is see-through. So yeah, it's just not going to happen. I'm going to start on my cake because yummy. So Mum's going out today with one of her friends who recently moved to the island, and they're going to visit open gardens. I feel good. Really good. Cecilia is here. She says, good morning, peeps. Missed you all. Good morning, Cecilia. Caroline says, right back. Certain wanted a bio break. Oh, bless him. Bet he is giant now. You said he was. He's getting big. Laura says, I love your new sewing room. Mine is an office for the moment, so I have to sew in the living room. And Caroline says the puppy has got to 35 kilograms. Wow. He's a big boy. Yeah, this when we came to look at the house, we looked around the main house and it was just like, this is lovely, but there is no room for the three of us to live in there and have a sewing room. And the details didn't mention the outbuilding, the garage at all. And so I was, you know, Mum really loved this house, and I was just like, well, we'll go and see it, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to fit all of us in. And when we came, we looked around the house, and like I say, we loved it. And then we came out here, and this is, it's almost 5 meters square. It's like 4.8 by 4.7 meters length and depth. And so it's almost 5 meters square. And it was just like, oh, we could do this. We could make this work. We could make this work. So yeah, it's definitely rustic. But because we put so much stuff against the walls, like you can't see that there's like a wooden board finish back there with no plaster or anything like that, because it's just covered with fabric. So, you know, once everything was in, it's brilliant. There was a point where I came down and the lights hadn't been put in, and it was just a dark hole, and it was like, oh God, this is going to be so depressing. But it's actually absolutely amazing. It's brilliant in here, really, really lovely. And it gets really warm, which is great. It retains heat, which is great for when it's cold. Like currently it's 19 degrees in here, which is not ideal, but it's, you know, I'm not putting the heater on because I've got the iron on. I'm in here, it will warm up. It's going to be interesting to see how it fares when it's the height of summer and really, really hot. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, but it is lovely in here. We've still got lots to do. We've got to put the telly up so that that's out of the way. Currently it's a dumping ground for all the bookcase doors that are going into the front room because they're needing to be painted, and they're being painted just outside of here, so it's easiest to bring them back in here because they're really heavy. We need to get the new door on because the door that we currently have is not the best. And lino for the top of the cutting table, although the guy that's meant to be doing that has just not turned up 3 times now, so we think we need to find somebody else to do that. And there's one more box that I've got to unpack and try and find space for. So there's little bits and pieces in here that still need doing, but it's perfectly, as you guys have seen, I have made 16 things in here so far, and now 16, 17, 18, and a shirt, 19. So it's definitely functional as a sewing room, which is great. Let's see. Gin and Pin says, glad you fixed up with provisions. I'm guessing the kitchen is a lot further away than before. Yes, it's much, much further away. I have a drink, I have my Huel, I have my cake, and I also have the intercom. I can just imagine ringing, please may I have a cup of tea? We'll see if that works, because it's only Dad at home. Like I say, Mum's going out to look at gardens and stuff with her friends, so he's probably going to be outside, and it'll probably be like, no, go get your own. Deanna's here says, hi Sean, so happy to see you again. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. Eileen is here. Morning Sean, it's great to be part of the live again. I've missed these. Yes, I have missed you guys as well. Gosh, there's 100 of us already. Wow. So yeah, what have you guys been sewing? I mean, you've just seen my lookbook, so you know what I've been up to. Eating cake. I'm going to switch those around because I want to drink. That's elderflower and apple cordial. It's really yummy. Hide and Silk says, hi, Sean. Hello, how are you? Have you finally moved to France now? Have I got that right? I think I've got that right. Debbie's here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Debbie. How are you, my lovely? So, yeah, it's been really, really lovely being sewing again. I think you guys have all been able to tell that it's really kind of like picked my mood up for sure. I have missed it, really, really missed it. When I was filming the lookbook, I was sort of saying, you know, we had delusions that we were going to set up in the dining room. There was just no room in the dining room. It was full of boxes. The bookcases have been built in the front room now, which has meant that the final boxes have been unpacked in the house. There are still a few floating around, a couple of which are mine, and I need to get on and unpack those, which I think I'm going to do tomorrow morning or this afternoon, depending on what time we finish today. And there's the odd brown box here and there, but we have got to the point where it's just like starting to actually look like our house now, which is really nice. And it's not, you know, like all the tradesmen have been incredibly busy, so getting them booked in, the lead times on that has been really, really long. So, you know, it wasn't like we could move in and immediately get everyone in to do all the things that we needed to do. This needed to get done first, and there was a process that we were going through trying to get everything done. And, you know, waiting for IKEA furniture to arrive was a long process, and getting that all built was then another lengthy process. But yeah, we're finally getting to the point where we're almost unpacked, which is so exciting. You never think, like, when you move house, you're always like, oh yeah, it'll take us a while to unpack, but it'll be fine months later. So yeah. Sue says, I redid my sewing room after seeing yours. I took hubby to IKEA, never again, but I did get cubes. I do love these cubes. I know everyone was worried about the dust and the sun, but the fabric's nowhere near the sun. Neither was Mum's. As I said, this is a north-facing building, so the one window we have is, you know, doesn't let any sun stream in, and the lights that we have are all LED lights. They're not skylights, because a lot of people are like, oh, those skylights are amazing. They're LED lights, light panels, which is something that I specifically asked for, because I didn't want, at one point we were going to get the sort of strip lighting, and I knew that would be terrible for filming, and just also for your eyes, because they do flicker and they're not good. So yeah, the lighting in here is great. And you know, dust is going to be an issue, but then dust is an issue wherever you go, like, realistically. So yeah, it's good. It's really good in here, and I do like these cubes. I like seeing all my fabric. I do enjoy having it all out like this, although it is a little overwhelming. Marie says, hi from New York. Hello. Renske says, I'm having way too many plans for sewing. Yeah, me too. Me too. Wait till you see my fabric haul on, when's it coming out? Tuesday. So many plans. Hide and Silk says, yes, we moved last summer. We came back for Christmas and extended a tad. Back in France now, though. Love your new sewing room. Love everything you've been sewing. Oh, thank you very much. And I'm glad you're back where you want to be. Debbie says, it's nice to see all your stash in one place. Yes, totally. It is slightly overwhelming how much I have. Like, if I just sewed this up and then didn't buy any more fabric, this is a giant wardrobe. I have been getting a few of those comments, which I have answered. Like, one person was just like, do you sell the stuff that you make? If you don't, your stash and wardrobe are a little excessive. No, I don't sell the stuff I make. This is all for me. I used to, and I found it incredibly stressful, and people don't want to pay a living wage. I was paying the rent on my shop, and I wasn't earning any money. So I stopped doing that, because I had one stressful client too many, and it was just like, no, this is not the way forward. This is not what I want to do. This is, and so many people were asking me to do alterations as well, and I hate doing alterations, and I would have been miserable if I had put that up as a business model. So I stopped making stuff for other people, and now everything that I make is pretty much for myself. I do occasionally sew for my niece, and sometimes mum, and sometimes my sister-in-law, but mum and sister-in-law have both got really fed up of waiting for things to be made for them, so they've started sewing their own stuff, and both of them are brilliant at it. So yeah, I do just sew for me. I do have a large wardrobe. I do clean it out frequently. I have put a lot of stuff in storage recently that really doesn't fit me, and unless I lose 2 stone, it's not likely to fit me again. But I'm reluctant to sell it or get rid of it, donate it, as it were, because I'm hopeful that I might get into it again. And then I have donated a lot of things because I do make a lot of things, and some of them are repeats. Like this shirt dress, for example, is a new make to me, but it's going. I'm going to repeat this. You know, there's going to be about 4 or 5 of these in my wardrobe because I really, really love it, and I love the different options. I've done the sleeveless one, but I'm going to do a short sleeve one. I'm going to do a full length sleeve one. I have some brown cotton lawn in there with elephants on it that I want to make a full length sleeve one of these for autumn winter, but that will still be wearable in spring if I roll the sleeves up, kind of thing. But I do experiment, and I do make things that don't quite work for me. So, and quite a lot of the evening gowns that I've made, I've donated because I don't go to many evening events, and I want to wear something new to those events, and I have the fabric for it. I mean, this 2 here are silks and fancy fabrics, those two cubes there. I have the fabric to make new dresses, so once I've worn an evening gown, I don't really want to wear it again, and I'm not throwing them away. I'm donating them to local charity shops so that somebody else can wear them to their prom or an evening event. That's my hope anyway. So I do go through my wardrobe and clear it out regularly. And the stuff that I make, some of it will never, like, I'll never sell or get rid of an Eve dress, and my 8577s are not going anywhere. But other patterns that I try, like the 4919, I made an evening gown out of that, really like it, wore it, enjoyed it, but I'm never going to wear it again. So I've donated that. So it's kind of like ever going. And realistically, no one needs a wardrobe the size that I have. No one, I mean, the human body does not need different clothing every day. And you could very easily get by with, like, you know, a very tiny wardrobe, but where's the fun in that? I love clothes, I love color, always have. So yes, I make a lot. Yes, this would turn into an awful lot of clothes, and it will do over a period of time. And I will buy more fabric. I'm going to the Festival of Quilts. I look online. I have ideas. So yeah, there will be more fabric coming in. But the turnover, and like I say, I don't throw anything away. I don't sell anything because I kind of, I don't know. I don't know why I don't sell anything. Maybe I should. But I do like the idea of donating things to, like, the RSPCA charity shops and the Mountbatten ones as well. So yeah, anyway, I've answered that before and I've now answered it again, but I do get quite a few comments from people just being like, isn't that a little excessive? And I was like, to a degree, yes, it is. Nobody needs this many clothes, but I enjoy clothes, so I like making them. Caroline says she's back, just put a picture of Serdan on the Peeps group. That's her puppy, the 35 kilo puppy. And she also says strip lights give me migraines. Yeah, same. I've had one migraine in my entire life, and I'm so grateful that I've only had one, and I don't even know if it was a proper migraine, but it's unbelievable. I was in bed for 2 days. It just Laura says, I am sewing a dress with the cashmerette Upton princess bodice and the Gertie Stanwyck skirt. That's going to be really fancy. I like that. Yes, and guys, whatever you guys are up to, please do put pictures up in the Peeps group on Facebook so that we can see what you're chatting about as well, what you've been chatting about, because we love seeing what everyone's making. Tabitha says, I love the calyx cubes too and have a lot of them. Mine are stacked with books though, and fabric are in plastic containers under my desk. Yeah, I used to have books in these. I used to have my shoes in these. This is one of the things I love about these cube units is they're just so flexible. They have been so many things over the life of when I've had them. So it's been my headboard, the back of the console table at the back of my sofa is this one. So they're really, really flexible, and I like them. Gin and Pin says, I've put a lot of weight on, which I will get off, so I'm going to be sewing non-fitting garments. I cut a couple of True Bias Roscoe blouses dress to work on this week. Ooh, I like that. I do like that pattern. There's a Pauline Alice one as well. What's it called? It's kind of got like a sort of half circle shaped yoke on it as well. And it begins with an R, I'm sure it does. Can't remember the name of it though, but yeah, that's very nice. Carolyn says, how rude, none of their business. Yes, to a degree, I can see that. And yeah. But I don't mind answering that question because a lot of the fashion bloggers that I follow do kind of every now and again sort of say the same thing, that this is their job. This is my job. My job is to make things, to show you guys what I'm making, how I've made it, what fabric I'm using, how that fabric behaved, and, you know, sew-alongs of how to put the things together and tips and tricks and pattern reviews and that kind of stuff. And if I have a full wardrobe. Technically, I have one empty wardrobe and one empty full-length wardrobe and one half-empty half height wardrobe in my room. So I have plenty of room to put new clothes in there, and none of the other ones are stuffed full. But if I stopped sewing now, and I have more than enough clothes to clothe myself for the next couple of years with, you know, mending, like if buttons came off or if I got a hole in something, if I mended it as I went, then I don't need to make any new clothes. There is, you know, I will not go naked, as it were. But then what would I do for a job? I you know, my job would come to a grinding halt. So yes, I make a lot of things. I make many more things. And like I say, the sewing, the fashion bloggers that I follow, every now and again they're like, this is way more than any one person needs. I acknowledge that. But if I didn't bring in new things and show you guys, then my job would dry up. So it's this kind of like catch-22. You've got to keep doing the thing because otherwise you won't be able to do the thing. Yeah. But I genuinely don't mind answering those kind of questions because, you know, not everybody realizes this is my full-time job. I mean, given how frequently I post and how that I used to post daily, what else, how they thought I had time for anything else, I have no idea. But yeah. Christine says, bonjour from sunny and absolutely gorgeous Montreal. Hey peeps. Hey Christine. Bonjour. Marie says, considering you made 16 things in a month, I don't think your stash is excessive at all. I'm jealous. Thank you. Charlie says, so lovely to see you here. It's nice to see you too, Charlie. Sue says, who cares how big your wardrobe is? I mean, that's the thing. Lots of people have bigger wardrobes than I do. Lots of people have smaller wardrobes than I do. One of the things that I'm always fascinated about is capsule collections. I love that idea, but they are always so dull. They are always so dull. It's always, there's no print and color and stuff like that. And that's my opinion and my taste. I, as you guys probably can tell, love print and color. So given a beige capsule wardrobe, I would be miserable. But I do love the idea of creating like 30 pieces. That's what I was trying to do with the pirate collection, is to create like a capsule of 30 pieces that all kind of interchanged and work really well with each other. And I'm so looking forward to starting that back up again. But it is autumnal clothing, autumnal and winter clothing, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make some summer collections in the interim. But yeah, it's you know, like some people have bigger wardrobes, some people have smaller. Hide and Seek says, I donate any excess to our nearby women's refuge. Most of the women in the refuge have to leave with only the clothes they stand up in, ditto with excess toiletries, Christmas, etc. They're always really grateful. That's a lovely idea, yeah. I mean, I very rarely end up with excess toiletries because I'm not I'm not a hoarder of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you are, like you said, excess Christmas gifts and things like that. Yeah, I mean, that's an, I don't know. I like I say, I donate mine to the RSPCA at the moment, and I shall have to have a look into women's refuges on the island and see if they're interested. That's a very good idea. Thank you for making me think of it. Debbie says, you must have the most stylish charity shops on the island. Your makes are beautifully made and will benefit others who cannot not afford such lovely clothes. I mean, that's yeah, I really, I'm going to keep eating my cake because it's sitting here looking at me. Oh, good. Oh, good. So, I'm not sure who ends up buying my clothes because they are very specific and odd size, but I'm sure they'll fit somebody. And you know, off the rack never fits anyone perfectly, and hopefully somebody out there is loving them and getting some wear out of them and enjoying them. That's my hope. I've never bumped into anyone wearing anything of mine as yet. So Colette says, you could do giveaways on your channel or Instagram. I would love to win to see how you sew your garments. See, that's another thing. So Colette, I know I'm a good seamstress. I know I make pretty garments, but I did give something away once, and somebody jokingly sort of said, "Oh, let's have a look at the stitching," and it immediately made my skin crawl and my stomach sink to my shoes. It was just like, oh god. And like I say, I'm a really weird size as well, so I mean, I'm sure there are other people out there that are the same size as me, and but it would just be very limiting if I did a giveaway like that, because it would just be like only the people that could fit into my stuff would be able to, I'm thinking, would want to get it. But yeah, that's another, I've got an irrational fear of people judging my sewing. So yeah, that does really kind of like just make me think, oh god, no. Judy says, I'm making meringues for a meal to celebrate my son's engagement. Oh, congratulations, and yay meringues. Gin and Pin says, I don't know if the secondhand clothing selling apps accept handmade clothes. I don't know. I mean, somebody mentioned this in the comments when I was talking about this the other day, and just said, oh, don't garments that don't have labels on them, aren't they immediately put in landfill? And I'd heard that before, and I had checked with the manager of the store that I donated to just to make sure that that wasn't the case, because I have some labels that I could sit and sew into stuff if I needed to. And the lady said, no, that's absolutely ridiculous. We take and sell handmade garments. So I don't know if it's a case somewhere, or one particular brand that, you know, like one particular branch of shops will not take things without labels in them. So I don't know. The other side of things is, as well, guys, I am so busy. My days are full already, and every now and again I'll list some stuff on eBay, but that's usually ready to wear clothes and shoes. I'm selling some shoes on eBay at the moment, but I don't want to have to list clothing, answer questions on it, pack it up, take it to the post office. I would rather donate it. I don't have the time to do that. And I just don't want to do that. It can get, especially with the, I mean, I had 2 of the giant really useful boxes in my house for about 2 years that were full of clothes that I was going to eBay, and I never got around to it. And the trouble was, I kept adding to the stash because they were just stuff that was like, it was more ready to wear clothing that just ended up kind of naturally coming out of my wardrobe as I made more things that fit me better. And I just never got around to doing it, because it is a lot of work to do that and to do it well, because you can just throw up a picture in a quick like dress and then somebody's going to be like, what's the measurements, so if you don't do all that work first, and then you still get people who ask questions and things like that, and I just don't have the time to dedicate to doing that well. I would rather send it to charity. Charlie says, Nodding in agreement with Hide and Silk and Debbie. Alison says, how is Chiana today? She was very friendly this morning. She has gotten into the routine of when I get up and sit up in bed, she immediately comes and sits on my lap, which is absolutely adorable, but it's usually when I'm trying to answer emails and things. And so, yeah. Cecilia says, when someone asks, isn't that excessive compared to what? To a minimalist, a hoarder? Why is anyone telling us what our wardrobe should look like if we're being responsible? Yeah, I mean, again, it's like all about perspective, isn't it? Like for me, my wardrobe, I know my wardrobe's large. It's actually a lot smaller than it used to be. I have always had either a very large room, which I've had a lot of wardrobe space in, or I've had a walk-in wardrobe, which was supposed to be the second bedroom in a flat that I was living in. I've always had a large collection of clothes and shoes, and I love them. And I do wear them all. And if I don't wear them, they go, and then a new thing gets put in, either made or previously was bought. So it's always been something that I've enjoyed. And I've, as I think you can tell, I am not a minimalist. Not remotely. And that's fine, like each to their own. So yeah. And again, I genuinely don't mind answering that kind of question. I really don't, because not everybody kind of, like I say, realizes that this is my full-time job, but it does make me smile. And I have to say that the person that asked that question most recently then said something very similar in the lookbook, in their question in the lookbook. And I was like, I've answered your question. Did you not watch that waffle? So yeah. Hide and Silk says, I just finished another fringe dress yesterday in fabric I got from Material Girl Laura. Not sure what to make next. I bought lots of big 4 in the sale and haven't made any yet, so thinking of one of those. Ooh, nice. Well, there's I don't know if this is your bag at all, but there is a so something 70s hashtag challenge going on Instagram, which I fully intend to tag my 8013 when I finally finished it. It's just down there. Renske says, for people that buy lots of clothes that are made by children far away, it's a different story. But for you, I would say it's your own choice. Yeah, don't worry. She said, like, it says but autocorrect changed the word. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, the true cost of fast fashion is very, very high. And if I weren't making my own clothes, I would be trying to buy from English-made designers. There are a few. There are, and not even just English-made, but kind of it's a giant can of worms, that. But yes, I would be trying to ethically source my clothing rather than just buying the cheapest stuff that will fall apart after a couple of wears. So yeah, the true cost of fast fashion. I mean, there's many documentaries about that, and they're horrifying. They really are. Coke. Marta says, no one needs to do things just because other people cannot put themselves in your shoes and don't understand your particular situation. Yeah. I think it's kind of like similar to opinions as well. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I think a lot of you have realized as well, I was getting quite a few comments in regard to a certain area after watching my last video. And the comment section in my lookbook video is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And every single one of you that commented or watched that video, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but if it's a negative one, then does the other person really need to know about it? And I don't think they do. But yeah, so like, you know, somebody else's perspective on a certain thing is different to your own. That's totally fine. Everyone, that's the point. Everyone's different. We're all allowed to be different. Hiding Silk says, neighbour here has asked if I can alter a coat down 2 sizes, trying to figure out how tactfully to say no. Does it have to be tactful? You could just say, no, I don't do alterations. So Yeah, I feel for you there. Do you guys watch, not watch, do you guys follow Can You Sew This For Me on Instagram? Because that feed is just unbelievable. Many, 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 many stories like that. Christine says, so nice to see you. Your job is making clothes and show it on the internet. I love to see how many clothes you make. Inspiration for us all. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, I mean, I obviously have a very set style and I don't stray very far from that. And again, that bugs some people who have let me know. And it's just like, I like this particular style on me and I shall wear it. And I've recently started blocking quite a lot of people that have, I'm sure they weren't meaning to be mean, but you can, I don't know if you guys know this, but on the back end of, you know, sort of like the studio side of YouTube, I have a comment section and I can put in a name or a word or like a pattern number, and then any comment that relates to that person or that name or that, you know, that pattern number or anything will come up. And I remember recently there was a comment from somebody that does comment fairly frequently, and it was the one that prompted my little captions on my latest lookbook video about the things being too tight. And the comment was something along the lines of, you really need to think about the sizing that you're using. It looks like you're trying to squeeze yourself into dresses you made a couple of years ago. And I don't think it was meant harshly. I don't. But I put that person's name into the comment tab at the top of the comment section in the YouTube studio. And I read through previous comments from this person, and pretty much every single one of them, there was some kind of negative thing in there. And I'd let them all go through and even given them a like, and like the little heart is to acknowledge that I've read the comment. I would love to sit and answer you guys every single comment. I really would. I would love to do that. But again, I used to do that and it took me hours. And that was hours taken away from editing, which then made editing like a till 2 o'clock in the morning kind of thing. So the little heart on my comments is to acknowledge that I've read it. And if there's a question in there, I tend to answer them verbally in the next sort of blog and things. But this particular person, having read, and this is the thing, like seeing all of their comments in one big block and reading them over, I'm sure they weren't meant harshly. I'm sure it was meant to try and be constructive. But getting tone across on a written comment is very difficult, I think. That's why I use a lot of emojis, because I'm trying to convey that, you know, it's a jokey emoji or a winky emoji or a smiley emoji. Like, you know, I'm tongue-in-cheek kind of, but that's why I use so many emojis in my writing, is because I'm trying to get across the tone. But yeah, that last comment from that person, and it wasn't the only one, but it was just like, oh, okay, you know what? No, I don't want to see this anymore. And so that person's now, it's not blocked. They can still watch the videos. They can still comment on the videos, but it just says it's called hide user from channel. So they may well be making comments, but they will not appear. So they can still watch the videos. They can still, you know, like or dislike. They can still comment, but those comments will not appear, and I don't ever get to see them anymore. I can undo that, but I'm not going to. And I've been doing that quite frequently recently, and the little annotations that I put on the lookbook video might have appeared to have been kind of like out of nowhere, but I mean, that was a fairly tame comment. I you know, I had quite a few other ones that were clearly meant to be mean and offensive as well, so those got banned as well. But I was trying to explain to a friend of mine as well, it's like you can have 99 amazing people being like, this is fabulous, I really, really like this is really good, and then you can have one comment that picks up on something that you yourself are already fully aware of and very self-conscious about, and rather than those 99 people who are all lovely, you're just like, this one comment, and you're just paying attention to this one comment. And that's not to detract from all of the lovely, lovely people, because that really does mean the world to me. It really, really does. And as I say, the comment section on the lookbook video is amazing. But that one comment, that person had managed to pick the one thing that I'm already fully aware of myself, very conscious about, and it just, my self-sabotaging brain was just like, and there's all this loveliness over here, but this one thing was just, and I put those annotations up on that video because I just thought, you know, if I get one more person who means well, but who points out something that I already know about, that's already making me really cringe on the inside, then it's just going to be like, rah. So that was, yeah. And it's mad. It is totally mad. And brains can be your best friend, and they can be so cruel to you. And like, we are cruel to ourselves. And this is the thing, so many of you guys were lovely and were like, I wish I had your figure, or like, you know, you look great and thank you. And I know this. I know I look good. I'm very lucky. I'm not making any efforts to lose weight, eating cake, not doing any exercise. I have hurt my knee, which is why I'm not, but I'm not making efforts to change the thing that's bugging me, but it still bugs me. And it's just one of those things that, yeah. I don't know if everyone's brain's like this, but mine can be very self-sabotaging, which is not the most fun thing in the world. I am really not very good at catching up with the chat. I think I'm really far behind. I'm sorry. Carol says, just dropping in to say hello. Hello. Eleanor says, good morning. Good morning, Eleanor. Susan says, hello from Adelaide. Great to see your vlogs again, Sean. Thank you, Susan. Jinpin says to Hide and Silk, I'm not sure I have the skills. Don't think my machine can handle it. C, these are the answers. C, no. I vote with no as well. Jill Sims says, I was once sitting in a coffee shop and saw a lady walk past in one of my dresses. She looked far better than I did in it. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what I'm hoping for at some point. So Lily Bells is here. Hiya. Hello. Claire says, I hate labels because they make me itch. Nothing I have has labels, ready to wear or otherwise. The only thing I put labels in is my coats, because there's going to be more than one layer between me and the label. But yeah, I totally agree with you. None of my clothing has labels in it. And even my ready to wear clothing, I cut them out. Jan says, hi from Bristol. Great that you make plenty and share as your job. I lost a lot of weight and had to start again with my wardrobe, and had lots of comments about having too many clothes, so I post less. Jane, ignore them. And I know there's so much, I've just, after my little, just so much easier said than done, but you do you. What makes you happy, you do you. So yeah. And Caroline says to Hide and Silk, just tell them altering tailoring is something you don't do. Yeah, or don't want to do. Kathleen says, good morning from Illinois, USA. I find you a total inspiration. Last fall, I finally started sewing for myself again after years of bag making. I have a huge stash that I need to work through. Me too, and thank you. Joe says, late to the party again, lol. Has anyone else bought the McCall 6891 because Sean made it? Eek. There is a hashtag saying Sean made me do it on Instagram if you want to take part, or look through and make yourself feel better. I do love this dress though. Kim says, my first ever live and watching in Australia. Absolutely love watching your channel and all that you share. Love you in the shirt dress. They suit your shape really well. Thank you. And yes, I love shirt dresses, and that's why I make so many of them. Faye is here. Hello, Faye. Charlie says, now craving cake. It's good cake. Christine says, yes, sure, craving cake for breakfast now. Sorry. And Rinske says, I got some horrible comments on YouTube as a musician. People just don't think about what it can do to you when you read it. I think that's another side of things as well, is that if it's a video like this, my lookbook, I think, has got 185 comments, which are all positive, which is amazing. There wasn't one negative comment on that video, which was utterly amazing. So thank you again. But when you put a video out, it's a very different prospect getting so many comments in. And as I say, 99 out of 100 are positive. But if I get like 200-300 comments, then 3 are negative. I suppose, like, when you say it like that, it's not too bad, but it's negative comments from somebody you don't know about something you're already aware of. It's a very weird thing, like, having that kind of come at you. It's just odd. So I'm very sorry that they were being mean about your music. That's just, I don't understand people's mentality for that. Like, just don't. If you have a negative opinion, that's fine, you're entitled to it, but why do you have to give that person your negative opinion of them? No. Hide and Seek says thank you to Gin and Pins and Caroline for the recommendations of how to just say no. That would be me. I'd just be like, no, I don't do alterations. Gin and Pin says, I'm French seaming my Roscoe's, which is the recommended finish, but it's all your fault. I love French seams. They are just the best. So Rachel Lynn says, good morning. Leggy Leslie says, so nice to have you back on your Sunday lives. You certainly inspire me. Love your makes. Thank you. Alison says to Renske, and again, I'm really sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. I probably am. Don't take any notice of anyone's crap. They wouldn't dare say it to your face, so don't worry. Some people have way too much time on their hands. And Renske says, thank you. Marie says, I didn't think you looked bad at all. I thought the sizing was good. I'm new to sewing, but I thought they all looked great on you. Thank you. Olivia says, wow, that was harsh. I'm guessing that's about the comment that I mentioned. Charlie says, life's too short to give or receive criticism. Yes, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but I very rarely ask for critiques on my makes. But every now and again I will, but I do ask for constructive criticism, and the majority of people are amazing at that. But every now and again, and that's why I think this person didn't mean it to be mean. I think they were trying to be constructive, but it just wasn't. It was just mean. But again, tone is very difficult to get across. Carolyn says, I love that you're trying to see the good in the comment, but it's just so unnecessary. Yeah. Christine says, good for you. We don't need negativity in our lives right now. Hugs my bell. Yeah. I mean, that's the other side of things as well, is I have the power to turn off any source of negativity in my life. I don't have to put up with it. I don't have to see that. And if like for example, this comment was the straw that broke the camel's back with this particular person. Having read through their other comments, there were just, this is why I don't think they were trying to be mean for the sake of being mean, but it was just this stream of negative stuff, and it was just like, you know what, I don't need that. I don't need that. Bernadette Banner, when she has over 1 million subscribers, and so her comment section is very different, but she refuses to go into the comment section of her videos after a 24-hour period, because she says that amount of positive or negative influx of random people's opinions on her is not a good thing. Like, the positive, too much of that's never a good thing. You can overinflate your own ego, and too much negative is awful. So she doesn't go in the comment section of her videos after 24 hours, because her theory is that all of her fans, her true fans that want to see it, will have watched her video within the first 24 hours of it being put up. And so the comment section then is more of a true reflection of her fan base. Whereas if she goes back into comments from older videos, then people are just negative. And yeah, I think it's, I don't have that many comments that I need to worry about that kind of thing. But yeah, you don't have to have negativity in your life. And if somebody is providing that, or a particular source of, input in your life is proving to be very negative for you, you do have the power to turn that off and say no. And it's something that I've been doing a lot more of recently. Marie says, you go girl. Carolyn says, I mean the comment being unnecessary, not you. I got that, Carolyn. So Colette says, good for you for blocking that person. You make amazing clothes and look great in them. You're an inspiration. Thank you. Rachel Lynn says, that comment is not necessary, and those dresses look great on you, and none of us need that negativity in our lives. I think the other thing with those dresses as well is because they were plain fabrics at the bottom, print would have hidden my little protuberance, my little belly better. For me, I was immediately drawn to, like, I can see my tummy, I can see the dent where my belly button is, I can see that it's wrinkling around here, and this person had just picked up on that. And I already knew that, and I wasn't actually going to put those videos out. I wasn't going to show those dresses because I was really self-conscious about how they looked on me. But it was just like, you know what? I need to show the absolutely amazing things as well as the not so successful things, which is why I showed you guys the 7977 in the polyester fabric as well. I mean, that I still think has potential and I want to work on it. It was the wrong fabric, but it was a throwaway wearable muslin fodder fabric. But I didn't need to show that at all. I could have just pretended that it didn't exist or said it just didn't come out right and not shown it. But I don't want to just go, oh, look at all the perfect things that I make, because not everything I make is perfect, and I'm not trying to say that it is. But you know, I run a spectrum between this is amazing, I love this, to I'm glad I tried it, but it's not for me. And I wanted to show the whole range of everything because that's life. And you know, like not everything that you do is going to be the most amazing win ever. So yeah. Joe says, no place for negativity. I've only found your channel to be informative and encouraging. Actually made my first pair of pants and French seamed the pockets because of your amazing instructions. That's awesome, Joe. Yay. Claudia says, I missed the comment. Whatever it was, I assume it was not constructive. So sorry. No, it wasn't. But again, that person's now not able to make any kind of comment at me. They have to email me directly now to do that. And I do get that every now and again. My inbox is usually a lovely place, but I do every now and again get emails from people just telling me exactly how they feel. And again, that's not, I think I can block emails from me for receiving emails or mark them as spam so that they just go into the spam folder. But yeah, they're going to have to make a bit more effort to let me know their negativity now. Alex says, the annotations on your lookbook made me a bit sad. Why would you be made to feel like you had to explain anything like that? Yeah, I mean, I was in two minds about putting them on, Alex. I really was, because I didn't want it to be a poor me kind of thing. But it was one of those things where I was so aware of that particular, I mean, like realistically, they all zip up, but they are just maybe a touch tighter than they should be. And I'm sitting here eating another slice of cake. I had one yesterday. That's not going to help the situation. But you know what? I like cake. And I thought, if I don't put those notes on and somebody comments the same thing, all well-intentioned, I'm sure, but if somebody comments the same thing, I'm going to take the video down and just no. So I thought I'd put those in. And so many people in the comments were just clearly picked up on that and were lovely. So again, thank you. But yeah, I was in two minds whether I should put that on or not, but I'm glad that I did. Sarah says, what my mum's always says, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Yep. Cecilia says, regardless of tone though. I'm guessing that was... Kathy says, good morning, Sean and Peeps from Pennsylvania in the USA. Good morning, Kathy. Alison says to you, Alex, hello, Alex. I trust your latest makes have put you on Insta. I love your latest makes you've put up on Instagram. How are all of your machines? I've just added another one to my collection. Nice. Claire says, I love your style, his consistency, and your figure, whether it's bigger now than before or not, is amazing. I'm so envious. Not enough to be purposely mean, however. Thank you, Claire. And I think that's another good point. Like, a lot of people's negative comments or mean comments tend to say more about them than it does about you. But again, it does come a point where if you're already thinking something about yourself, that can be it can be all very well thinking about in real life, but then actually applying it can be a little bit more difficult. But thank you very much, Claire. Charlie says, yes, indeed, you do you. Helen says, sending love from Christchurch, New Zealand, and the biggest hugs after hearing the comment drama. Thank you. Carolyn says, good morning. So happy to be here with you all once again. Good morning. Soths and Orkins. Hi, Devon UK here. Hello. How is Devon today? Alison says, McCall 68991 is now a Butterick pattern. So if you can't get the McCalls, look at Butterick because it will be there. I saw that actually, the latest Butterick re-release. They haven't even used new artwork, have they, on the pattern envelope? It's the same envelope as before. Roseanne says, yes, I bought 2 patterns recently because of Sean. Which ones? Alex says to Alison, hello and thank you. My machine's doing well and I'm considering rebuilding the house because I want to get another one. What did you get? I love that, Alex. Oh, Alex, are you coming to the Festival of Quilts? And if you are, can you come on the 30th with Sue and Hedgehubby and get the VIP tickets so we can all sit together because it would be awesome. Just in case. Also, anyone else wants to come to the Festival of Quilts, we're going to be there on the 30th of July. Not August. Did I say August? I didn't mean August. 30th of July. We have the bronze VIP tickets, which give you early access to the show, a guaranteed seating area, a dedicated cloakroom, and a dedicated coffee shop with 3 hot drinks tokens for the day as well. And trust me, it is worth the money for the seating area and the cloakroom. It really, really, really is. But yeah, we're going to be there on the 30th of July. So if anyone wants to come, let us know in the Peeps group, and we shall make sure to meet up because it would be lovely to see some of you. Hide and Silk says, I put labels in things I make for others, and for me, when I need to know which is the back and which is the front, I sew a little cross in a opposite coloured thread on the back of like my Gable t-shirts and things, because otherwise I would put them on. There's one that I haven't put that in, and I'm sure I wear it back to front half of the time. Anne Sinclair says, I love buying fabric and sewing fabulous frocks vicariously. Please keep doing what you do. I totally will, Anne. I've got to at least get through all this. And Caroline says, like the stream, Peeps. Ah, yes. We have 160 Peeps in here and 40 likes. It's so nice to see you all again. I've done no sewing and it's been an hour and a minute so far. I haven't even finished my cake. Alison says to Alex, I got one of the best machines ever, a Benina 930. My friend wants the new top-of-the-range domestic Juki machine. Claudia says you can't please everyone. Exactly. You can't. And you shouldn't try to. I think it was Dita Fonte said you could be the ripest, juiciest peach there ever was, but not everyone's going to like peaches, which is very, very true. Dita Fonte has also said that I think she was asked in an interview if she had any parts of her body that she didn't particularly like, and she said, yes, of course I do, but I'm not going to tell you about them. And she doesn't ever talk about the negatives about herself, which I think is a really good mental attitude to have. I wish I could embrace it more. But yes, you're never going to please everybody. You can't be everything to everyone, and that's totally fine. And just wish that other people would realize that when they make comments along the lines of like, oh, I don't like that on you. It's like, totally fine, but I don't need to know that. Dilek says, you're right, Sian. It depends on how someone says their opinion and their intention behind it. I understand how you feel when it comes to your own body and self-acceptance. It takes a lot of energy. It does. Eleanor says, regarding the negative comment, there is one expression, one bad apple spoils the whole barrel. Yeah, I think it's not just my super negative brain. I know that it happens to everybody because I have talked to other people about it and they've said the same thing, that like you can have all the positive in the world, but the one negative is for some reason more believable to you. And it's not everybody has that kind of mentality. And I'm really jealous of people who are able to just go ignore that person. But yeah, I totally agree with that comment as well. Sorry. Sal is here. G'day, Shine and Peeps. Long time no talk. And Shine, you look gorgeous with the new hair colour. Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Sal. Your Dracula costume looks amazing. Dilek said, I recently made a pair of pants with your instructions for French seams for the pockets. Thank you for the great video, Sean. Thank you. That video has really taken off recently, actually. So many people have been like watching it, and it's becoming one of my most viewed videos every month. So Sandra Flo says, "Bonjour, Sean and Peeps from France. Hello, welcome." Learning Stitcher says, "I thought you looked amazing in those dresses. It's the thought of getting negative comments like that which put me off starting my own channel. I'm a plus size woman and very self-conscious." It's really easy to say go for it and just do it and ignore the comments and the haters. But as I'm saying here, that's way easier said than done. There'll be more positive than there is negative, because the majority of people are lovely. But it's something that you need to decide for yourself whether you want to put yourself through the negative comments. And like I said, there will be way more positives than there will be negatives. There will be, but it's got to be right, something that's right for you. But you'll have a large fan base already, because we'll all subscribe to you. So and we're all lovely. Alex says to Alison, "Congratulations. I'm now a full industrial addict, but I'm going to try the new Juki Kokochi when I can. I really want an industrial buttonholer, but I think we've had this conversation." Alex says hi to Sal. Alison says to Alex, I look forward to seeing it when you get and keep your try again. "I look forward to seeing it when you get it. Will you keep your domestic Juki if you get the new one?" Karen says, "Hi from Texas. I find you absolutely charming and think you looked fabulous in all your new clothes." Thank you very much, Karen, and welcome. Good morning. Sue says, "I'm on holiday starting tomorrow and I'm making the Romana coat as my holiday project. I'm nervous." Oh, but it's going to be brilliant. And there is a sew along for that as well on the By Hand London blog. I think it's the collar stand that is the tricky part, but they've done a picture tutorial for that, I think. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing how yours comes out. I have my fabric for my Romana out on my table. Do you guys want to see it? Should I show you some fabric? 2 seconds. I'll be back. It's only because it's out. I mean, all my fabric is out, so I am planning a whole collection around this. But yeah, this is what I'm going to make my Romana out of. And I think it's going to be epic. I have a dark, solid navy lining for it. And I want to make a little A-line skirt out of this as well. I kind of want to make a mini A-line skirt, but I haven't worn a mini skirt for years because I really don't like my legs. But it would be a winter collection, so I'd be wearing tights and boots with it, so I want to try it. And I have the Pauline Alice skirt, Rosaria skirt, I think it is. That's the one that I want to do. But good luck with your Romana, Sue. Right, I'm all out of breath now. I picked out that heavy bottle of course. Gin and Pin says, "I bought a tailor's clapper with my Christmas money and just love it. It's making so much difference on my seams. Can highly recommend one." Yep, mine's over there. I love it. Absolutely love it. Hide and Silk said, "I thought you looked amazing in all your outfits." Thank you. Alison says, "Hi Sal, did you enjoy your day out?" Alison says to Gin and Pins, "I bought a tailor's clapper with a point turner and love mine too." Oh, yeah, this shirt collar needs to be pressed. The sleeves need to be pressed open, and so I use the point turner on my clapper for that. Highly recommend. Alex says to Alison, "My problem is that I can't part with my machines. That's why I have 4 overlockers and 3 cover stitches." I love you, Alex. You're brilliant. Alison says to Alex, "I know exactly what you mean. I have 2 virtuosas. One is much better than the other, and I want to sell the other one. I'm just so reluctant to sell it, even though I have 2. Ange Tang says, "Your sewing room is a dream of organisation and efficiency. Your makes and commentary on them are great and on point. I've been sewing the Gertie shirt pattern last week because of your makes. Thanks." Oh, thank you so much. That is a wonderful comment. Thank you. Please do put your makes up in the Peeps group as well, because I would love to see what you've been making. So many people have been asking where they can get that Gertie shirt from. Hopefully, if we all talk to Gertie loudly enough, she'll do something for charm patterns that's similar at least. Sandra Flo says to Gin and Pins, "I have one and can go back to pressing without a clapper." Definitely. Julie says, if you don't like it, don't watch. And if you don't agree or want to criticize, don't. It really annoys me and it puts me off wanting to vlog. Totally get the self-sabotaging brain. I'm there too. Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. You're entitled to your negative opinion. Just don't share it. I have plenty of negative opinions myself. I really do. But I don't share them with the people that they're directed at because it's not nice. I'm allowed to have my negative opinion, as are people of me, but I just really don't need to hear it. Gin and Pin says, yes, the point turner is so useful, just left pressing now. Claudia says, any honest sewist is going to have garments that do not fit perfectly. Maybe they're not even fixable. I love that you're honest with your audience. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of this channel is like, I've been self-taught and sewing for 7 years now. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I learn all of the stuff that I know from blogs and from YouTube. So, you know, like, I'm no expert. Quite clearly tell people that as often as possible because my way might not be the correct way of doing something. But if you like the end result and you're happy with the end result, the correct way absolutely doesn't matter. You do you. So, yes. Alison says to Gin and Pins, do you have a tailor's ham and sleeve? Bought these this year and love them. Sue says, life is short, eat cake. Yes. Claudia says, I was very aware of those annotations on your video. It tells me you get hammered with well-meaning advice that it becomes a pitter. I love that, pain in the ass. Yes. I think that's hit the nail right on the head, Claudia. That's the thing, is that it's so many. And a lot of it is really well phrased, but some of it is not. And as I say, it's all stuff that I'm fully aware of already. And yeah. and to be fair, like I say, I delete most of those comments. I very rarely, unless other people have waded in and there's a conversation going on around that comment because I hadn't seen it in time. I very rarely leave kind of those really negative comments up because they just don't deserve airtime, is my opinion. And again, this is all my opinion. I might be completely wrong, but this is how I feel about it. And I mean, that's all I can speak to is my experience and my feelings on the matter. Tiana says, I've been on baby making schedule. Grandson was born yesterday. So happy. Oh, congratulations. Johanna says, good morning from North Carolina. Good morning. Simone says, hello, peeps. Hello, Simone. Debbie says, I'm trying to resist the 50% simplicity sale. Good luck. That's not helpful, is it? Be Kind says, love your videos. I was watching on my phone, then quickly hopped onto my laptop so I could drop you this line. Hello from Australia, and I look forward to all your fabulous mates. Oh, thank you. Karen says, hi. Hello, peeps. Hello, Sean. Hi, Karen. How are you, my lovely? Faye says, when you're in London for the Festival of Quilts, let's do pizza. It's in Birmingham, Faye. I'm sorry I won't be in London. But yes, otherwise definitely pizza would have been great. I am going to visit Wilson in August, so we'll have to try and work out meeting up then. Hopefully Wilson will be in his new flat, which is literally behind the Goldhawk Road. Literally. I'm so excited. Viv says, my 25-year-old daughter finally visited and tried on things that I'd made and needed to alter for a better fit. They fitted her perfectly. She said it was like visiting an exclusive free boutique. Oh, I love that. How wonderful. Alex says, I'll do my best re Festival of Quilts. Sue now lives in Yorkshire, so it would be a good opportunity to catch up with her. Oh, yes. Oh, Alex, I hope you can come. I'm really excited. I would love to see you again. Hide and Silk said, wish I could go to the exhibition, but it's a bit far. I love the idea of the cross. Oh, yeah. Oh, you do live a little bit far away now, don't you, just for one day? Peggy says, I like your hair. How is your mum? Thank you, Peggy. Mum is much, much better. She's still having to be really careful about what she eats. And she's spending a little bit of time down here, but usually in the mornings when I'm editing. So we're not kind of crossing paths down here very often, which is why you guys haven't seen her for a while, but she is good. Hide and Silk says, many congratulations to Diana for the baby grandson. Gin and Pin says to Alison, yes, I made my own. Lining made from some heavy calico, outer in fashion fabric, wool upholstery fabric, stuffed with hamster sawdust, matching pattern weights with aquarium gravel. Nice. Be Kind says, my name is Bree, by the way. Be kind is a good reminder for everyone, though, don't you think? Definitely. I'm sorry you've had some mean commenters, but it's unnecessary to be mean. Keep opinions to lifting people up, not dragging them down. Very true. So Colette says, so random sewing question. I'm quite new to sewing and currently putting the waistband on a skirt. Should I grade the seams? Do you always grade seams? I think the official answer is yes. My answer is I sometimes do. You want to grade them so that the longest seam allowances are against the outer fabric that will show, so that you don't end up with a ridge. But yes, you should grade seams, especially with waistbands at corners and stuff, so that you can get nice turned corners. You want to clip and grade around there quite harshly. But I don't always grade my seams. Like this dress that I've got on now, the bodice of this was sewn with 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I didn't French seam it because it's fully lined, and I didn't grade any of the seams except for around the collar and neckline because I had to, otherwise I wouldn't have got these nice pointy points. Sandra Flo says, oh, that's a great idea, making a cross on the back of the gable tops. I made this pattern in several dresses and made notches to distinguish the front from the back. I'm going to try your method. Yeah, I do the same with my pajama bottoms as well, just sew in a little cross stitch. I think they even mention it in the gable top instructions that you can just put a little decorative stitch at the back to designate that it is the back. Alex says, I've been very productive. Not. I'm drafting the same bodice I've spent 2 days on and have managed to change the armhole by about 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters per hour will take me forever. Ange Tang says, when are you planning to tackle that cropped silk jacket with the carrot pantsuit dream make a la Dolce & Gabbana? I've been looking for patterns because your ideas hooked me. Love it. Probably not till winter. As I mentioned, I'm going to see Wilson in London, and he has bought or is in the process of buying a flat right behind the Goldhawk Road. And Goldhawk Fabrics have an entire wall of silk dupioni, and I'm going to go and have a look for a kingfisher blue colour in there when I go and see him. It will be just after the Festival of Quilts, so I probably will have spent all my money already. But I do have some silk dupioni here, but none of those lengths are enough to make the suit that I want in the colour that I want. So I need to find some fabric, and it's one that I actually want to go and see in person, which is why I'm going to wait till I go to the Goldhawk Road. But yeah, probably not till autumn, winter. Alison says, to Gin and Pins, I really admire your creativity. I was lazy and got mine in the spotlight sale. Yeah, I really want a really pretty sleeve and tailor's ham, but I'm not going to make them. I mean, I suppose I could just recover the ones that I've got, but I'm not going to do it. And you can just about see the tailor's ham there. Black and red check is, it's not my proper aesthetic taste, but it's, it's fine. Sal says, with negative comments, I tell my kids that sticks and stones may break their bones, names and words have started wars. Words can have and have done more impact damage than action. Yeah, I agree. It can be very, very hurtful, especially if you're already conscious about the thing that's being said to you, which most people generally are. Most people are fully aware of their flaws, and other people pointing them out does not help. Yeah, I'm so grateful that I just grew up in the time where there was no internet and no Facebook and none of that. Oh gosh, yeah. Lottie says, hello, have missed the hangouts, hope you're all well. Hi Lottie, how are you? How is the house coming along? Gin and Pin says, typical sewer, saw one and thought I can make that for less. Alex says, Sal, quickly, that's your chance. Oh yeah, I went to go get the fabric. Oh, you can't see the mannequins, can you? Sorry, they're in the corner there. Claudia says, gorgeous fabric. It looks like a geometric design is woven. Is that a jacquard? I think it's kind of like a tapestry. I don't think it should be made into a coat. Like, technically, I don't think it's a coating fabric. I'm going to have to interline every single square inch of it, but I love it. So, yeah. Cecilia says, oh, please make a mini out of that fabric. I'm really behind with the chat, aren't I? Sorry. Chris says, hi, Sean, welcome back. Thank you, Chris. Welcome. Anne says, sorry, got to go. Really need the cake now. Enjoy, Anne. Diana says, thanks, Kathy. Hide and Silk. And Alison says, to Gin and Pins, I know what you mean. Sal says to Alex, she needs her mannequin back in view. We should demand it. Alison says, it would be great if Gertie had the Butterick shirt pattern available for free on her Patreon page. Nimue says, hello, everyone. Joining after a late-ish lunch. So nice to be hanging out with the peeps again. Welcome, Nimue. How are you, my lovely? Daily Obsession says, I've been so inspired by you lately. My mental health has suffered a lot this year. Seeing you sewing again and happy... hang on, sorry, the chat's jumping around. Seeing you sewing again and so happy made me get my machine out. 6 dresses and 2 tops in the last month. That is amazing, and yay. Well, I'm so glad that you've got the sewing bug back. Hide and Silk says, I'm not on Facebook now and I do miss the sewing groups. I actually went through my Facebook page, my private personal one, and I deleted a whole bunch of people on there because there was just people that I just didn't interact with anymore and I hadn't seen for decades, and it was just like, why are they on there? And it's a much nicer place to be now. And I basically just spend time in the Peeps group and I don't do anything else on Facebook anymore. Sandra says, better late than never. Hello, Peeps from Australia. Good evening, Sandra. Sandra French says, hello from the land down under. Hi, Sandra. Tabitha says, could you please show the point turner and clapper you're talking about? I can, of course. So it's like a tailor's anvil. It looks like an anvil. So this surface, when you press something, you then press this down onto the seam that you've just pressed, and what it'll do, especially with wools and thicker fabrics, is it'll keep the steam in and you're keeping the seam flat whilst it's cooling. So it will help the seam to set flatly in place the way you've pressed it. And then this bit here is what you kind of shove the shirt point into, so that you can press this seam flat before you press it. So you can press it open before you press it flat. So you can get much bigger, more elaborate ones of these that have different curves and stuff on them, which is the next thing that I would like for even more kind of pressing surfaces. But this is the clapper. I believe Guthrie and Garni have some just the pressing part without the point turner on them. They're handmade by a local carpenter to them. Oh, excuse me. Flower says, totally agree that anyone can do sewing, but so many people I know think sewing is too hard. I then think to myself, are you kidding me? There's so much sewing help on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those things that there's just now so much resources out there. And I think you're just about to say it's when I started sewing back in the early 1990s, there was little or no help for issues I had with some of the dresses I was sewing. Yeah, I think people think that it's much harder to get into now than it was, and yeah, I'm so glad so many people are starting to pick it up and use it again. Johanna says, I can't remember who, but one YouTuber just doesn't look at her comments. She says it's not worth the time and the mental energy. I can understand that. I would really miss talking to you or like reading your guys' comments, because as I say, the 99.9% of them are this positive, wonderful thing, which is so lovely to receive. But yeah, I can totally understand wanting, if it's a source of negativity in your life, just no. Alison says, McCall's 6891 is now Butterick 6843. Why pattern companies have to change something that doesn't need changing, I have no idea either. Kat says, I think you're blinking lush and you give me figure sewing and right now cake envy. Oh, thank you so much. Debbie says, Joe Lysette responds to negative comments with, you okay, hun? It drives them potty and gives the rest of us a laugh. Oh, I had one comment recently on a waffle, which just said, "How is this a teachable video?" And I was just like, I couldn't help myself. I replied with, "It's not meant to be," and then blocked them, because it was just like, it's not even a how-to in the title. It's a daily waffle of my my experience of making a dress. And yeah, I couldn't resist it to not. But my thing with the negative comments is that I would I do get that, and like winding them up. But the thing is, like I said, I don't have the time to respond to the positive comments, and I don't want to give the negative commenters any more time than they deserve, other than the block button, because I haven't got time to respond to all the wonderful things that people say to me. And I would much rather spend my time doing that than egging on the negative commenters, except for that one person, because it was just like, it's like somebody else watched somebody watched my how to make the Phillips fiber art rings that bind quilt, and my manager had gone through and he had turned it into a how to make this quilt video, and the comment was, "This isn't a how to make this video, this is too quick, there's no instructional content in this video at all." And at the time I was just like, well, it's not meant to be a how-to. And then I saw that the title had been changed, so I changed it back. It was like, oh god, it's been mislabeled. But it was just like, it's not meant to be it was an exercise in timing the making of a quilt from start to finish, to then fairly price it with a living wage and profit, and all the materials that had been bought to make this thing, which ended up being over $3,500 without any profit, just paying my wage and paying for the materials. And that was an exercise. That video was to show making the quilt, but also an exercise in showing how much effort goes into it, why quilts are priced the way they are. Alex says, but I buy machines when I go to festivals. Yeah, I can't promise to make sure that you don't buy a machine if you came, but I hope you can, because it would be lovely to see you. And Alex says, and because of the lockdown, I have enough money, but not enough space. Gin and Pin says, just been to check, free pattern for ham and sleeve roll I used was from Victory Patterns. Smaller than bought, but can really get into the areas needed. Nice. Faye says, I need a trip to the Gold Hawk Road as I want to get some fabric. Cool. I shall let you know when I am in London then, Faye. We hopefully we can meet up. Ange Tang says, can't wait to see the Kingfisher blue suit. Good hunting. Thank you. Julie says, I love watching you make dresses. They fit you so nicely. Julie from Portland in Oregon. Thank you, Julie. Sue says, I'm signing off. Need to get my creative sleep. Have a great hangout, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Sue. Christine says, my goodness, don't ever break up with Wilson. He has the perfect apartment ever. I know, right? He's already told me I'm not allowed to draw because he knows I'll just fill it with fabric. He was joking. Lottie says, house is good, thanks. I'm supposed to be cleaning a room right now. Cleaning a room for new underfloor heating to go down tomorrow. Just taking a little break. I'm still not as unpacked as you despite moving in December. We've still got boxes too. Kaylee says, hi Sean, lovely to see you back live. Love from Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay. Nimue says, they announced on Thursday that Fabric Market would be in town today, and I don't have a fabric wish list. That's a first. I'm clearly unprepared for normality to resume. Carolyn says, being open to positive, constructive input and criticism is incredibly good for personal and professional growth. Being hateful for the sake of being hateful is not good for anyone. Well said. Debbie said, if I'm ever burgled, I am heading for the craft room. This is where all the most lethal weapons are. Shears, clappers, knitting needles. Definitely. Nimue says, they also said there would be a thunderstorm all day and now it's just windy. I'm happy to sit here with you guys. It's very nice to have you here with us as well. Tabitha says, thanks, Sean. Are they called sewing clapper? Need to find one. You're in Sweden, aren't you, lovely? There's a shop called Vina Kava, which is where I got mine, and I think it's called a tailor's anvil, Anvil. But yes, a clapper, sewing clapper as well is another thing to look for. Anessa is here. Hello, Sean, and hello, everyone. Hi, Anessa. Alex says, I can't not mention it. I'm disgustingly little wifey here. I have my own personalised clapper made in heavy wood, but with my name on it, made by Head Chubby. I saw that, Alex. It's beautiful. And the bowl that he made you as well. Very lovely. Charlie says, how much persuasion did Wilson need to search for a flat by Goldhawk Road? Lol, that man is a keeper. Actually, it wasn't my favourite of the flats that he was looking at, and I was trying to talk him into getting another one, but he really likes the Goldhawk Road one. And yeah, I'm not complaining. Carolyn says, anyone have a clapper pattern source? My hubby can make one with dimensions and I really need one. Ooh, Carolyn and Head Hubby, maybe yes, Alex, maybe Head Hubby and Carolyn's hubby could have a chat. Oh, I think I'm nearly caught up with the chat. Oh, this is amazing. Sal says good day to Anessa. Tabitha says yes to Caroline. Good question. I was going to ask the same. Alex says to Caroline, I'll ask H Hubby to make a draft on paper so he can find it. If he can find it, I can scan it for you. Gin and Pin says I got my clapper from Edwards in Lincolnshire. I also got my darning mushroom. I'm trying to be better at supporting small businesses, which is awesome. Aunt B's Creation says, good morning. I have loved your new sewing space setup videos and love the new sewing projects. Thank you. Debbie says, you may bump into Bernadette Banner on the Goldhawk Road. Yes, I saw she did a video the other day. Judy says, need to go, ladies. No sewing today. Too busy getting my meal ready for my son and future daughter-in-law. First time since the 17th of May. Have a wonderful time, Judy. Alison says, Shan, I'm surprised that you don't have Lady McElroy fabric that is blue and has white cats on it. Oh, I like that one. I do like that one. It would work perfectly with the new collection that I'm doing as well. If I see it at the show, it's quite possible it'll come back with me, but I'm not buying fabric until I come back from the show. Rachel Lynn says, so what are you sewing today? So far, nothing. An hour and a half, and we've just chatted, and I haven't even finished my cake. I did say I'm probably going to do the trouser muslins, although I do have the Simplicity 8013 right next to me as well. But the idea of sewing slippery fabric on camera is not appealing to me. Caroline says, I found one online. I try and find the link and put it in the Peeps group. Thank you. Josephine says, I'm sewing on my eternity project, a hand-sewn stays. Oh, wow. Good luck. Alison says, I have a couple of lengths of the McElroy cat fabric. And Carolyn says to you, Alex, thank you. And I've caught up with the chat. So I'm going to eat more cake. And then I'm going to start sewing. Because if I start sewing whilst there's still cake, it's going to end up in the sewing. I'm sure of it. So we don't want that. Okay. Sal says, over an hour of pure waffle without sewing. Everything back to normal. Pretty much. And Grace says, hi from Texas. Hello, Grace. How are you? I don't know if you guys are Marvel fans, but whenever I see Texas, I always hear the way that Carl Urban says Texas in Thor Ragnarok. What's his name's Scourge, isn't it? And he's showing off, he's taken over Heimdall's position and he's showing his stuff to the two girls. And he got some assault rifles called Des and Troy, because when you put them together they destroy, and he got them, he's like, I got them on a place on Earth called Tex Arse. It's just it just makes me giggle every time. I love that film. I think it's my favorite Marvel film. I watch it very frequently. I'm really glad I haven't offended you guys. Lindsay says, I have bought myself a new machine, a Janome. I can sew more I bought myself a new machine, a Janome. I can sew more. You've inspired me so much. I love all your dresses you make. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Olivia says, how is your mum doing? She's much better. Still having to watch what she eats, but much, much better. Alison says to Caroline, I found some Australian online fabric stores that have this fabric, so I'll get some. Otherwise, it would get it from Minerva. Charlie says, big Marvel fan here. Grace says, great. How about you? Yes, I love that scene. I'm so glad. I love just that entire movie. I love it. Carolyn says the chat is back and it's all is right with the world again. Ange says that one is a hoot. Marta says I originally wanted to set up my machine and finish up my projects during the stream, but it's been such a nice chat that I'm holding on until Sian finishes her cake. The way I'm talking, this could take a while. It's been an hour and a half. This is the longest I've ever taken over a slice of cake. And Gin and Pin says, I'm off to the shops, might catch up later. Got behind yesterday, have to spend 8 hours getting a urine sample from Ptolemy, my cat. Oh no, I hope they're okay. We ended up having to take Susie to the vet last week. She was rubbing her stomach against the floor and whining and yelping, and she was obviously in distress and uncomfortable. So we took her to the vets, and she's going to be 13 in August. So she's quite an old dog, and she's quite a little dog as well. They tend to live a little bit longer than bigger dogs, but yeah. So we took her to the vet, and they did a whole bunch of tests and scans and all sorts of things. And they rang us at about 5 o'clock, and they were like, yeah, she's totally fine. You can come and pick her up because she's not happy here. That'd be great. So we went back and picked her up, £300 bill later, to find out that the dog is perfectly healthy. It was like Dad said, it was like she was being bitten by something, the way she was rubbing her belly along the floor. So she might have picked up a flea, £300 vet bill for a flea, but she's fine. There's a delay, so I just see myself eating cake. Right. Debbie says, I wish I had time to double bill Thor Ragnarok with Flash Gordon. Yes, I own both of those movies. That would be an amazing double bill. Ange says, thank you for posting all the sewing realness. Off to bed for cheer for me. Enjoy the cake and good night. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Deanna says, thank you, Sian. Thank you, Deanna. Sal says, love the Marvel movies, but hate the fact that I have. So I'm going to talk on the treadmill every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie one day, then continue with other movies when finished. Simone says, I've been enjoying putting all my fabric into sewing room storage. It's been waiting since January when the organizer was in. Nice. Always fun doing that. I really want to kind of like rearrange this already. But only because I want to play with my fabric. And I used to be able to do that in the evenings because my fabric was right there, and I can't now. So Simone says, oh no, I've read that one. Charlie says, I was bitten yesterday by a deer fly. Nasty things. Oh, ouch. Alex says Susie is worth it though. Oh, totally. We don't begrudge her the bill at all. It was just really, really funny. It's like that meme that I've seen of this guy in America whose dog is limping, and he's brought him back, and he's like $300 vet bill later to find out the little sod was faking, so he didn't have to go on a walk. He's totally fine. Lindsay says, my little boy has just subscribed to you. His name is Samuel. He likes watching you as well. Hi, Samuel. Thank you for the subscription. Nimue says, I'm cleaning my machine from the aftermath of the sewing weekender. Then I hope to get my new dance bag sewn now that classes have finally started again. I'm also aching all over from last week. I can't wait to go back to dance classes again, but I don't think it's going to be for a while because it's partner dancing and I don't have a partner. So, yeah. Janice says, good day. It's morning here and Father's Day. Good morning, Janice. Caroline says to Alison, got mine in a couple of Sherwood's remnant sales. Blues are very slightly different. Sal says, sorry, meant walk, not talk. It makes more sense now, Sal. Aunt B's creation says, oh, Charlie, deer flies are awful. Ouch. Samuel says, hi, can't wait to have a play with my mum, who is Lindsay. Love your channel. Thank you. Gin and Pin says, I think it was the vet's revenge for him biting her. Need to book him in for bloods under sedation and probably his thyroid. Oh, bless. Yeah, when the vet rang us, they were like, yeah, we've managed to get her to pee in a cup. I was like, how? How? Kathleen says that was an expensive flea. That's why I said to Mum as well. Carol says, there was a really cute post of a dog that limped because his owner did. Oh, that's really sweet. I love the ones that the dogs do yoga with their owners as well. I think that's brilliant. Lynn says, hello, tuned in about 20 minutes ago, was getting something to eat. Good to see you back from Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Hi, how are you, my lovely? What wonders are you sewing at the moment? I love the Jungle Tropics shirt that you put up on Instagram yesterday. Oh, really pretty. I have some fabric left here to make a shirt with. I think your one was self-drafted, wasn't it? Cake is so good. Carol says, I think there was a vet bill involved too. Oh. Viv says, I'm so enjoying this stream. I've just signed up for your Patreon and I have so much to learn from all of you. Still less than a year since I started sewing. Looking forward to getting more involved. Oh, thank you so much, Viv. Thank you. And I'm starting to be much more active on Patreon again now that I'm sewing again. Like 4 months of not sewing, it was like, what on earth am I going to put up on Patreon? But you guys have been absolutely amazing, so thank you. Olivia says, I saw that clip. It's adorable. Caroline says, don't know what the vets did to Serdan after his accident, but he won't let them near him now. I had to take out his stitches. Oh, bless him. I'm making a mess of this. Sloths and Orchid says, you eat the cake so slowly that you will burn all the calories talking in between the bites. I like how you think. This is calorie-free cake. You guys are good for me. That was amazing. Just going to put the plate out of the way so that I don't end up with fabric in it, because I know what I'm like. I will accidentally put a piece of fabric in it or something. Oh, right. Okay. Actual sewing. So I finished my waistcoat. Actually, I finished a couple of things. I will show you. So I finished my waistcoat, which does fit me. And I did it with the same fabric on the front and the back. This was meant to be lining. But like I mentioned, I think I'm not going to wear this under a jacket. So I just put the lining on the inside. And I haven't put the little belt doodad on the back, because after I saw that Dolce & Gabbana one without it, I preferred how it looked. And again, I don't like them because you lean back and you end up sitting on them, which is not great. So finish that. And then underneath is the 9296 with the cold shoulder detail. This is a cleavage-tastic dress. I have sewn up a good portion like that was meant to be open, and it was literally just hello, here are my boobs otherwise. I do really like this, but it is like I think I said at the beginning of the stream, it's a dress that you have to wear a very specific bra with, and it's also a very I'm going out dress. But I made it in a viscose, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It's massively dropping. at certain points. So I'm going to leave that to hang for a good week before I try and level that out. But I won't be putting that one on until the next lookbook because, like I said, I have to put on a bra that the straps cross at the back, and it's not the most comfortable thing, and I don't want to have to wear it all day. So, yeah. Let's see, where do we get to? Lynn says, I'm grand, thank you. Wearing that top right now, and yes, it's self-drafted. I've cut out another in a big check green gingham, and I'm now altering Gertie's Loretta shorts pattern. Ooh, nice. Very nice. I do like that shirt. It was very good on you. Nimue says, does anyone know a good tutorial of how to draft a set-in sleeve from a pattern with a grown-on one, or how to draft an arm side and sleeve in general? I like the length of the sleeves of the Butterick 6318, but I'd really like the option to reach upwards. Not off the top of my head. No, but yeah, anyone else knows, please let us know. Anna's here. Hiya, good to see you. Nice to see you too, Anna. Anissa says hello to Anna. Eileen says the waistcoat looks nice. Thank you, Eileen. I've realised I have nothing to put underneath it. I'm going to have to make a shirt to put underneath it. But then I need to make more shirts, and next month, so long, it is going to be a shirt. So the vote is now up on Patreon for people to decide which pattern they would like to see. So I'm going to be making some shirts next month. Lynn says, ooh, love the waistcoat, thank you. And Anna says hi to Anessa. Right, okay. So let's now, these, yeah, they're the Decades of Start ones. I'm going to start with those and we'll move on to the 9257s. Can I do this? Can I sew and talk at the same time anymore? Who knows? It's been a while. But the waistcoat, I really like how it turned out. I already planning another one. And I have quite a few fabrics in this part here, like this red denim. I'm thinking about making a waistcoat in that as well, because I do think it would be very 70s to wear my skirt that I've made from that denim with a waistcoat and a very bishopy balloon sleeved shirt with it. I think that would look really nice. Right, so that's all threaded. And the other fabric I'm thinking about is this wool from Lady McElroy. I bought 2.5 meters of this myself a while ago, and then Big Bird and my brother gave me a Lady McElroy, a Sherwood's voucher for my birthday, and so I bought some more of this wool because it was all they had left. And I'm going to make a trouser and waistcoat and hopefully a skirt set out of this as well. But that is my pirate capsule collection, so it's an autumn project. Let's see if I can squish this back in here now. Although, having said that, that fabric is quite a lightweight wool suiting, and it goes incredibly well with the Lady McElroy Savannah print. So I'm not ruling out making that up in August, because whilst it still will work and is part of the 70s pirate capsule collection, it's going to look really great with the Savannah print as well. And I just think a pair of the Oxford bags, as the sewing bee called them, that kind of style of trouser with a waistcoat, with a shirt with this kind of collar underneath of it, and then big bishop billowy sleeves, or like a shirt with like a bow tie collar on it, like the Sew Over It Pussy Bow blouse one, with that waistcoat, those trousers and some heels. Oh, it's going to look so good. I mean, that would be really good to wear in an office as well. Like, I would totally wear that if I had an office job. I don't have an office job, clearly, but that would be the sort of thing that I would wear if I had an office job. But it will be the sort of thing that I will wear while I'm doing this, because I love dressing up. I really do love dressing up. So yes. Where did we get to with the chat? Let's see. Anna says your dress looks so beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm trying to not look down too much while I'm because it looks really odd. Sam says, hello, I'm only 9 and I know how to sew, but she loves me more than she's made 9 billion dresses. That's your mum, isn't it? Your mum, Lindsay. But yay, that's awesome that you know how to sew already, Sam. Keep going. Carol says, to change the sleeve, I trace on the arm side from another pattern whose sleeve you like, overlap the 2 patterns and trace the bits you want. Yeah, that would be my suggestion too. Also, Simplicity do those sleeve patterns, and I believe they come with arm size that you can trace to make sure that the sleeve fits into it. I think that's how they work. Jennifer's here. Hello, lovely peeps. Hi, Jennifer. Lynn says, the waistcoat would look well with a dress too. I have a black waistcoat from Next Petite I bought a million years ago, and I wore it in the winter with my Mysotis and indigo dresses. Ooh, good plan. Good plan, Lynn. I think I need to have a month where I sew up all my Deer and Doe patterns as well, because I bought all the new ones and I have loads, and I've made the Sirocco, the Belladon, and that's it. So yeah, I think I need to have a month where I sew up Deer and Doe and then 1 month where I sew up French Poetry patterns. They have a little mini skirt that would work really well with that tapestry fabric as well. Oh dear, there's not enough months in the year. Nimue says, thanks, Carol. That's a good idea. If only I hadn't avoided sleeves and wovens for so far. I'll guess I have to toil a few more patterns that are on my to sew list anyway. Rachel then says, do you ever join in online sewing contests? Someone is doing a Sew 70s ones for summer. I saw it on Frugalissima yesterday. Yes, and I fully intend to put the hashtag on my Simplicity 8103 when that's made up. Usually I'm way too late to the party, and there's been loads this year that I wanted to take part in, like Sew Yellow for Endo, and So Natural Dane did one for Sew Maxi for Mother's Day. There were so many that I wanted to take part in, I just couldn't sew. But yeah, it's a really good thing to look out for, because it gives you kind of inspiration as well. Daria says, hello from Russian. Hello from Russia. You look very good today. The hair color suits you. Thank you very much, Daria. Caroline says, I love Oxford bags. I had a glorious grey pair when I was at college. Need to find some soft wool for more. Definitely. Charlie says, I went shopping for the second time in my local town. Hadn't been out since the 9th of March 2020. I forgot how to shop. Forgot my watch. Lost a shopping bag. Couldn't remember my card, pins, etc. Yeah. Janice says, I'd love to do the same as I do the same as Carol for the sleeves. Jane says, to justify buying new fabric, sew up cotton lawn for PJs. Lovely fabric, but fallen out of love with the print. Feels good to use it. Ooh, very good plan. Vanessa says, sew a t-shirt is also good for sew a t-shirt is also going on right now. Ah, cool. Hide and Silk says, I had a large lab retriever curled up next to me until Hub said the words river. Is he going for a swim? And Jennifer asks Anessa what pattern she is using. Right, let us mark in. Have I already marked some darts? I have not. So let us mark in some darts. Okay. I've got all this room in the sewing room, and I've managed to condense myself down into a tiny little space. It's a bit dark, really. Right. Jennifer says, oops, missed that one. Anessa says, I traced my favourite shirt that's now indecently see-through from washing. And Jennifer says, oh, that's a good plan. Definitely. Right. Okay. So let's mark in my darts. A couple of points on these that I need to mark. I would do this much better on the final fabric. I wouldn't I'd be doing this up on the cutting table so that there's more room, and it'd be a bit more accurate than this. But for now, this is fine. Okay. And these are the fronts of my trousers. So let's just make a quick note of that. Okay, so this is the Decades of Style Empire waist trousers that I'm working on now. And I did what I said I was going to do. I retraced the pattern at the largest size, and I am going to sew up everything, put the zip in, and leave the sides of the legs open so that I can put it on, pin it, mark it, and then sew it so it fits me, and then make all those alterations on the pattern so that I can then sew them up in denim, because I think that's what I want to do. I have a 5 meters of that denim, and I'm not sure if the 9257 Vogue pattern is the right one. I've kind of been obsessing about these denim Decades of Style trousers, so I want to give those a try first. But I'm doing it in calico first to make sure that it fits me. And this is the second muslin of these that I've made. And I could have done a full butt adjustment on the previous pattern that I traced, but I think this might be a better shout for getting these to fit me. I think. I mean, I was willing to try and see how it went. So, you know, we'll give it a go and see how it comes out. I have got, as I said, my fabric haul. It's not really a haul. There's only one new fabric in there. The rest is from my stash. But that's coming out on Tuesday, and there are 2 trouser weight fabrics in there that I want to sew up next month, and I have got 2 trouser weights of fabric that I want to sew up this month from my Make 9 picks. And once those are done, my Make 9 will be complete, and I can move on to my second one, which is all based around the Savannah print. And this was even like I knew I wanted it to be based around the Savannah print even before they brought it out on viscose. So yeah. Okay, so it's one dart pinned, another dart pinned. Again, you really shouldn't be pinning darts on your lap. You should be pinning them on a flat surface. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Where do we get to with the chat? Julian says, dropping in real quick to say hey. Hi, Julian. How are you, my lovely? Very nice to see you. Laurel says hi from Chicago. Hello, welcome. There's 170 of us at the moment. And Anessa says, yeah, I've now made 7 lol, and it's all I'm wearing. If it was, I mean, that's another thing. I really, once you found something that you love, there's nothing wrong with making loads of it in different prints or solid colors. Because if you wear it and you love it, then yeah, great, go for it. I mean, you know, that's something that I regularly do. So you're going to need no persuading of me to jump on board that concept. Dee says, hello from Greeley in Colorado. Hello, welcome. Oh, I was looking at houses in Aspen the other day because I just love kind of like log cabin style houses. Wow, there is some expensive ones. I think, what's it? Oh, I can't remember if it's Red Eagle or Bald Eagle or Golden Eagle log cabins on YouTube, but it's a channel that's I'm randomly addicted to. If I ever win the lottery, I'm totally going to get myself a bit of land in America and have one of those houses built because they're just stunning. Sorry, you said you're from Colorado, and it's Aspen is in Colorado, isn't it? I have got that right. Jennifer says, welcome to all the new joiners. Carolyn says, tell me more about Patreon. Forgive my ignorance, as I've never had any experience with the platform and so want to support you wherever possible. Okay, sure. That really leads well into me plugging my own business without me going doing it randomly. But Patreon. So back in the Renaissance Italy, for example, artists used to have wealthy patrons that would support them so that they could create art without having to worry about paying the bills, etc., etc. Patreon is a modern day take on that concept. So your favorite creators, and I use Patreon as a supporter before I put myself on there as a creator. I pledge to Bernadette Banner, Angela Clayton, Closet Historian, and Gertie. So they're the 4 pledges that I monthly give money to. And I get a range of different benefits. From Gertie, I've pledged for patterns, and for the other ones, I've pledged for rights to vote on particular sew-alongs that are coming up, and just because I want to support those creators. So my Patreon is, there are 4 tiers. Yes, there are 4 tiers. So the open tier is $1 a month, and I have 20,000 subscribers. So every single subscriber did $1 a month, then that would be amazing. And I know that's not going to happen, but yes, that's kind of the point. And so I have lots of people who subscribe for $1 a month just to have this behind the scenes waffle, this the results of votes and things like that. Then there's the $5 tier, which is the option to vote on next month's sew along. And everybody, just regardless of what tier you're on, you get your name in the credits of the sew along when that goes up. Then there's the $10 tier, which I've changed recently, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. That's terrible, isn't it? And then there is the $15 tier, which gets a monthly newsletter, which I haven't sent since December. So I have been terrible with my Patreon. You can subscribe for $1 and watch all the videos that are available. And then for 1 month, once you've done that, you can unsubscribe and just watch those videos. You can subscribe for a long period of time if you want to. I have had people who have been patrons right from the get-go, so nearly 3 years now. And it's just a way of supporting a channel that you enjoy the content of. So yes, that is what my Patreon is. Charlie says, totally off topic, I have a woodpecker family back at my feeders, sunflower seed hearts. Mama is feeding the baby, Papa is supervising, absolutely adorable. Oh, that's so lovely. Dad says, well connected then, working well, I hope. It is indeed, Papa, it is indeed. And Jennifer and Anessa say hello to the Fwiff. Anna says to Charlie, oh, that's amazing. I used to photograph wild ones. Have been enjoying wild ducks coming here for the last few months. I sport them by purchasing a pool and they love it. I love that. Caroline says hi to Dad. Jennifer says, please make sure to like the stream. Charlie says, love my wild birds. Dad says, Fwiff says, hello to the wild, send us some sunshine. Oh, it's worked, Dad. The sun's literally come out as that comment has been read out. Karen says, hello, Peeps. Hi, Karen. How are you, my lovely? I haven't seen you in ages. Alison says to Anna, my previous house used to have king parrots, rainbow lorikeets, and crimson rosellas visit me every day. I spoilt them too, and they knew where to go for a good feed. Carolyn says to Dad, fabric washing fairy, hello. So glad to see you all again. Please tell the beautiful QQ hello from us. Dee says, yes, Aspen is in Colorado. It's incredibly expensive. Yes, it is. It's a ski resort, isn't it, in the winter? And then, yeah, I can understand why it's expensive, but there are some beautiful log cabin houses. Alison says to Dad, hello from Bendigo, Victoria, Australia. Anna says to Alison, how wonderful. I can imagine you cared for them so much. They probably told their friends and family to come and visit. Viv says, if I'm supposed to be a wealthy supporter, I'd better unsign. Yeah, that was kind of like that was where the kind of model came from, is the Renaissance Italian artists having, and they used to have like one wealthy patron, and so the way Patreon has done it now is that it's crowdfunded, as it were, so you don't have to be a wealthy person to support your favorite creator. And honestly, guys, if or $1 a month is amazing, absolutely amazing, because as I say, if everyone did it, it would add up really, really quickly. So it doesn't have to be the higher tiers whatsoever. $1 a month is brilliant. So please don't feel that you have to do anything that's, yeah, you know what I mean. $1 a month, if you can afford it, is just awesome. So thank you. Haruka says, what your favorite styles enjoyed sewing or wanting to try? Hope your day has been great. I'm definitely a shirt dress fan, definitely. Dad says QQ is out viewing open gardens with her friend Susan. Very dangerous. QQ spends money. Yelp, ouch. Yeah, Dad's not looking forward to when we go to the Festival of Quilts. Sal says, I go past a train frequently the expensive houses in Elizabeth Moss. Invisible Man movie, you can hire it here, which costs about $3,400 per night. Wow. Alison says to Anna, yes, I did have a lot of birds coming to visit. They would even eat out of my hand. They were so tame. I miss them so much. Oh. Haruka says, here it's all white raccoons that eat my pet's food. Carolyn says, thank you for the Patreon info. You're welcome. Anna says to Alison, fantastic. Teenage Earthling and I had 1 or 2 eat from our hands. It's a great feeling to have them trust you. Alison says to Anna, we also had a superb fairy wrens. They're so pretty. Where I was, and we were lucky enough to have them here. I saw them yesterday. They're about 2 harems, and the male birds are beautiful. Anna says to Alison, they are beautiful. Miss seeing Australian birds. You're making me homesick. And Jennifer says, I support Sean, Bernadette, and a few others. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Alison says to Anna, are you Australian? And Anna says she's half Australian. Marta says, I love that just as Sean said she had not been good with her Patreon, I clicked to join. Thank you very much. I saw a little thing saying that somebody had joined Patreon. As I say, like the last couple of months when I haven't been able to sew, it's been a bit more difficult. So there's just been the one take waffles going up. But the last one, I kind of like outline how I plan to go ahead from there. So thank you very much. And I appreciate that it's not something that everybody can do, and it's totally wonderful for everyone that does. And please, it's totally fine if it's not something that you can do. You can support the channel in other ways by joining in the live streams, by commenting, by leaving likes on videos, sharing those videos, that kind of thing. So there are loads and loads of ways to support your favorite creators without spending money. But if you do have a spare $1 a month, then Patreon is definitely a very good way of supporting your favorite creators, even me. Right, actual sewing. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay. I'm gonna sew my darts. See, all the waffle dries up the minute I start sewing. I have to concentrate. This background does look really good though, doesn't it? I mean, like the previous background was okay, but it was out the window, so I usually had to close the curtains. This is brilliant. Right, it's one dart sewn. So tie my darts off. You don't want to back stitch at the point of a dart because it can make it bulky and extra pointy, which you do not want. So tie my dart shut, trim my threads, and I mean, you guys know what I'm doing, but I'm going to chat what I'm doing as I go, because otherwise I will be silent as I sew, which is not good. I mean, I can't apply for the sewing bee. Loads of people keep telling me I should. I sew for a living, so I am not an amateur, even though I'm, self-taught. But this is what I do for a job, so I would not be eligible to apply anyway. But I would also be terrible because time constraints and talking while sewing. I probably could not do it well, and would constantly be worried that I was going to sew over my fingers or something, which is one of my biggest fears and something that I've never done. And now that I've said that, I need to touch all the wood so that I don't do it now. And now I actually have wood to touch because I have the cutting table right in front of me. Okay, so tie second dart threads. Okay. So I think we've established that the internet is good enough here to actually support the live hangouts, which means that we can start doing these again as a regular occurrence. The only times that I won't be doing sew-along, Mum keeps calling them sew-alongs, and I've gotten into the habit of doing it. The only time I won't be doing hangouts is the weekends that I am in London with Wilson. And now that I will be able to get on trains again very soon, not till the end of July, but still soon enough, I will be going to visit Wilson kind of like every other weekend or maybe every third weekend. So I'm not going to say there's going to be a hangout every Sunday because it won't happen like that, but there will be hangouts all the Sundays that I am here. And I think you probably have noticed a slight change in my schedule, that I am now posting a video every other day, and that's going to continue. It's been really good because it's allowed me to be a little bit more free with the vlogs, because there's been certain days where I've been vlogging and I've either not made anything that day or I've been in a bit of a funk, and it's just not been like a great day of filming. And rather than try and make something out of it in the editing process, I've just scrapped those ones and gone along, because if I'm posting every other day but filming pretty much every day, it gives me a lot of choice of what I put out, which is great. And you guys have definitely been watching more videos, which is wonderful. So the channel is growing, which is great. Oh wow. Aunt B's Creation, thank you very much. $25 on the super chat. Thank you. Is there a question with that? I don't think there is. With the super chat, it's a way of getting your question seen by the person if the chat's moving really quickly. But thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Anyway, let me catch up with where I was in the chat. Marta says, my hubs and we decided to join Patreon and support people at the beginning of the pandemic. Oh, that was amazing of you, because Patreon has definitely been a lifesaver for me during the pandemic. My earnings last year got cut in half, and in half again this year because of what's been going on. So Patreon has been a massive lifesaver. So thank you very much. And I'm sure all the other people that you support have also felt the same. It has been amazing. And I also completely get that people have not been able to continue support during the pandemic for other reasons. So thank you very much. Laurel says there's an American bird photographer, Jocelyn Anderson, Jocelyn Anderson, whose Twitter feed is slow-mo birds feeding, slow-mo videos of hand feeding birds. It's so lovely and calming. Oh, that is nice. Alison says, I love how Tomcat Stitchery does her darts, and I do the same. I don't think I've seen how she does her darts. Lynn's here, 2-second check-in, no real break today, I will watch later. But nice to see you, Lynn, hello. How was the pattern blueprint or the body blueprint class that you did? Jennifer says, Penelope Wigglebottom has joined the chat. Hello, Penelope. Busy Bee says, I've just logged in, what are you doing? And Jennifer says, it's a mock-up for some jeans. jean type trousers, the Decades of Style Empire waist trousers. Anessa says, I've just sent money for my friend's husband to make me custom sewing and cutting tables. I'm so excited. Oh, that is exciting. I love mine. It's absolutely brilliant. Even though it's not quite finished yet, it's still brilliant as is. It's going to be mega when it's done. Marta says, sewing over my fingers is a nightmare fuel. Yeah, it's one of my biggest nightmares. Paula says, hi Peeps, bit late here. No worries, Paula, welcome. And Aunt Bee's Creator says, no, just to thank you. Oh, that's so lovely. Jennifer says, thank you to Aunt Bee's Creations. And Sal says, I don't know why, but I watch live hangouts with only people in the UK. Yeah, you watch Lisa Comfort's ones as well a lot, I see as well, Sal. You're very welcome. Very welcome indeed. Right, so got the back of the trousers here. Need to put in my points to mark my dart here. Concentration face. Concentration face. Ooh. Okay, and then this one. Okay, that is marked. Let's fold up. Oh, nearly dropped my trousers on the floor then. That's not good. Fold up my pattern piece. Put that away. Yeah, I have some Robert Kaufman Railroad denim in my stash, which is that one there. That's the denim I'm going to use for the first pair. And then I have this one in here. So it is thicker, actual jean weight fabric, has some stretch in it, and it's blue and white stripes. And it makes it, when I was filming it for the fabric haul, it was making the camera go really crazy and my eyes as well. But I kind of have a feeling that I'm going to make these trousers out of it. Possibly. I might make slightly less high-waisted trousers out of it. But I've had it in my stash to make jean-like trousers for the longest time. And I'm very much looking forward to getting it all made up. I've also there. Is it there? Is that the one? No, sorry, here, under here. These, majority of those there are Lady McElroy, sort of Cobra Corsage, Foliage Canopy, Anaconda Antithesis, Jungle Tropics. I think the only one I haven't got there is the Savannah, because I made a bag out of my Savannah cotton drill, and those have like 2% spandex in them as well, and they're all destined to be trousers. They were going to be skinny jeans, and they would have looked awesome as skinny jeans, but I just don't feel comfortable in skinny jeans anymore. So I'm going to make wide leg trousers out of them all, I hope. If I have enough. If I don't, then I might get some more. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of trouser making in my future because I am determined to perfect a few pairs of trousers. So the ones I really want to get done are these Decades of Style Empire waist trousers. The Vogue 9257s, because I've started them, so I want to get them finished and working for me. The Pauline Alice Sorrel trousers, because I think they are absolutely gorgeous. The Lander pants from True Bias, because again, I really, really like those. And the Nita trousers by Amy Nicole. I think they're going to look good on me. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But they're the ones that I really want to kind of work on and perfect the fit. And then again, as I've said, I mean, I have a lot of trouser weight fabric. Yeah, this entire, there's only one skirt fabric in there, which is that kind of cream raw silk one there. The rest of those are trouser weights. and lots of this is suiting trouser weight fabric as well. That there will be waistcoats from some of those as well, but that's 2 cubby holes of trousers there. And I finally got to the point where I'm kind of over my fear of trying to fit trousers. This is the second muslin that I have made for the Decades of Style Empire waist trousers. I have no idea if my plan for this is going to work. We will find out. Hopefully it will. If it doesn't, I will try something else. But my, as I mentioned, I'm kind of going to be doing some definite wins. So like this shirt dress that I'm wearing, this is a definite win for me. I love how it looks. And so, you know, I'll be putting in definite wins alongside muslin making for these different patterns that I'm going to need to do lots of tweaking to. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they all work out. For sure. Let's see. Right. Yep. Some more darts sewn. This has still got cat hair all over it. Chiana came down with me. Was it last night? No, I wasn't very well yesterday, so the entire day was basically spent asleep. But the day before, Chiana came down with me in the evening whilst I was finishing off my waistcoat, and she managed to find all of the fabric to fluff. So there's little grey Chiana hair everywhere. Right, so my dart's finished. That's one. Let's do number 2. There's a few little extra chat bits here. Oh, Alison says Whitney does her dart. The way Whitney does her darts is that she sews the dart, and instead of tying it off, she turns the fabric with the needle still in the fabric and sews downwards along the edge inside the dart. They look thumbs up. Yes, I have seen that method as well. Sloths and Orchid says, I figure out that for me, fabric choice is key. If I go for more supple drapey fabrics, I'm more likely to wear the finished version. Alex says, need to go, Sharon and Peeps. Thank you for a lovely company. Thank you for joining us, Alex. It was lovely to see you, and I hope you can come to the Festival of Quilts. But I totally understand if you don't have room for more machines. Anissa says, have a good day, Alex. Nimue says, well, Chiana hasn't been able to perform her fabric fluffing duties the last month, so she has to catch up as well. And bye, goodbye to Alex. That's very, very true, Nimue. She has had months of no fabric fluffing. Like, thinking about it, I actually didn't buy very much fabric either when I wasn't in the sewing room. Did I? I bought lots of patterns. I don't think I bought I think I bought a few pieces of fabric, but I didn't buy loads of fabric when I wasn't sewing. Like, all of the kind of hobbies kind of went out the window when I couldn't get in here. Yeah, my fabric purchasing this year so far has been fairly mild for me. Okay. Okie dokie. So I have done all of my darts. Now I'm going to be doing a different construction method to the way the pattern wants it done. So I need to think about that. Una's here. Hello, I'm working on my skipper bodysuit toile. How is everyone? Hi Una, how are you? We're good. We're good. I'm working on a toile as well. Anne says, first time here, I am enjoying. Thank you. Good. Hello, Anne. Welcome, and thank you very much. And Charlie says, Chiana knows her duties. Lol. Yes. The minute she came down here, she started sitting on Mum's fabric as well, so she was making up for lost time. Let's see. Jennifer says to Anne, glad you're enjoying yourself. So Lilybell says, I have to head off. Have a great afternoon. Before I go, can I just confirm the date for the Festival of Quilts? I plan on going and would love to meet the peeps again. So Lilybells, it's the 30th of July, the Friday. And as I say, we have bronze VIP tickets, which, if they're a possibility for you, I highly, highly recommend for the guaranteed seating and easy access to a cloakroom that isn't a giant queue for early access to the show. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. You get 3 hot drink tokens, and there is a cafe dedicated to the VIP room. So I think it's £48 for the ticket. Highly worth it. Highly, highly, highly worth it. And that's where we'll be, and that's where we'll be having lunch and sitting down and chatting and stuff. So if that is something that you can do, please let me know in the Peeps group, because I would love to make a list of everyone that's going to be able to come, because it would be great to see everybody. Charlie says 100 thumbs up. Oh wow, 101. Yes, thank you guys. There's 171 of us in here as well. So this has been so much fun. I'm so glad it's working. Anne says thank you. Patricia says welcome back to your lives. Thank you, Patricia. Hello. Nimue says, talking about patterns, I still need to buy the new by hand London release because stunning. No idea where I'd wear it to, but adding a third layer to the skirt can make amazing belly dance costume. Ooh, yeah. It's the Sandeep, isn't it? I love it. I haven't bought it because I have so many patterns and I haven't really got room to squeeze any more in. And it's a beautiful dress, but again, it's a very kind of going outy dress. Oh, I'm so tempted to just get it just because I love it, but I'm not sure. Jennifer has put $15 into the super chat. Thank you, Jennifer. And she says, just because. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Patricia says, how are you enjoying your new home? Lots. It's brilliant. It's really, really lovely. Anne says, just got my coffee and sitting outside before everyone gets up. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for your morning coffee. Carolyn says, I have some fabrics I have loved for nearly 2 years now, but have yet to buy because I just don't know what to make with it. Should I just buy it? What say all the peeps? I mean, I say yes, but of course I do. Nothing haunts you more than fabric you didn't get. And yeah, I personally, I'd go for it. Sandra Flo says, I made myself a cutting table by adding wood feet and wheels to a Norden IKEA table. The height is great, but the table is so wonky. I'm really not a great handy woman. Oh no, it'll be fine. I'm sure you can fix it. Sloths and Orchids says, absolutely yes to getting the fabric. Laurel says, Carolyn says, if they haven't vanished in 2 years, get them before they disappear. Sandra Flo says to Carolyn, I would buy the fabric and think after about what I want to sew with this fabric. Yeah, me too. Me too. Right. Now I need to sew a front and a back together. So let's see. Let's try and give myself a fighting chance here. Right, okay, so the front and the back together at the inseam, and I need to remember that this pattern has a 1/2 inch seam allowance, not 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, because that will make a difference. Okay, so they are right side up. Ooh. Now, usually I wouldn't recommend that if you're making a muslin, that you cut out all the length of the trousers, because you really only, it depends. Like if you're making it for the first time, then definitely cut out the full length of the trouser so that you can see what the length is like on you, because you may need to adjust that. I have cut out the full length because the last time I made this, I wasn't able to judge how much I could take off or add to the length of the trousers. So I have made them full length again because I want to do the full cuff, because there's meant to be a 2-inch cuff on the bottom of these trousers, and I have a feeling that they're going to end up being what is affectionately known as hoisties on me, so like, you know, ankle bearing with the current length. So I have a feeling that I'm going to need to add more length to them, but I wanted to get the fit over my hips done properly so that I could then work on the length of them. So yeah, that's why I've cut out the full length of these ones. But the Vogue 9257, I know what the length is like on those ones, so I've actually just cut them out so that they're short length, because I needed to add 1 inch of length to the trousers. I've done that, but I need to get the hips to fit me better, but I don't need the full length of the trouser to do that, so I've saved a little bit of fabric that way. So pinning my inseam pieces together so I can sew those, so I can then put in the zip and then sew the crotch seam, and then I can put on the facing pieces, and then I will be able to try them on and work out if they fit me and how I can get them to fit me. And I really hope that the biggest size will fit my hips, because if it doesn't, I might cry. It should do. So let's see where we go. Where are we up to? Anne says, oh, that's true. I still regret not getting a fabric I loved many years ago. Yeah, there's a couple of fabrics that haunt me still, and I can't find them anywhere. One of them is this pansy print. I got it from Truro Fabrics. It's a cotton lawn. And yes, I have some, but I only have 1.5 meters of this. I didn't get enough. I didn't buy it when it was immediately available with enough to make a shirt dress like this, which is what I would have wanted to make from it. So I've only got enough for a shirt or a top of some description, which makes me really sad because I really want a dress from this, but also I'm lucky that I got what I did get of it so that I can at least make something. But yeah, that fabric still haunts me. I wish I'd bought more of it when I could. Jennifer says, it's a sign from the powers that be that fabric belongs to you. Yep. Carolyn says, thanks, peeps. Hashtag Sean made me do it. Yeah, if that makes you feel better, then totally. I'm always going to advocate buying fabric. Janet says, hi, Sean, you well? Yes, thank you, Janet. Very well. How are you, my lovely? Anne says, I have a little bit of knock knees, so I really have to make full legs because it affects the hang of the pants. Yeah, the Amy Nicole Nita trousers that I was talking about earlier are the kind of most fitted out of all of the trouser patterns that I mentioned. I also want to make the Ralph pink cocoa trousers. I have that pattern. I think they're gorgeous. I have no idea if they're going to suit me or not. But yeah, I think all the trouser patterns that I'm willing to embrace are wide leg trousers really at the moment. Jennifer says that she's got same to Anne. Caroline says, watching this with interest. If I love those trousers, but not sure if they would fit me. Anne says, I love your pincushion. Did you make it and how? No, this was a very lovely gift from Candy in Santa Cruz, and it's from Useful Pincushions, and it's useful as in the female sheep, EWES full. So it's a hand felted wool pincushion, and Candy got me this, and my hand turned seam ripper. She got marmoset as well, and it's gorgeous. I love it, absolutely love it. And Anne says pretty to the pansy fabric. Yeah, I wish I'd bought more of it. A dress in that would be so pretty. Carol says, could you make a shirt dress with a solid bottom? Possibly, but I think, knowing me, I'm not sure that I would wear that. The colour blocked dresses that I made the other day, I'm going to make myself wear them, but I still reach for print over solids like that. So I think making a shirt out of that, and I kind of, because it's a lawn and it's a really, really nice floaty lawn, I want to make a big sleeve shirt so I can wear it under waistcoats like that. But yeah, maybe color blocking might be an option. So Lily Bell says, I'm not on Facebook, but I will be there. If it will be okay, I will email you. Yes, please do. Please do, because it would be great. If you're not on Facebook, that's totally fine. The email's in the description of the video. And yeah, let me know if you're coming to the Festival of Quilts any way that you can. DMs on Facebook or in the Peeps group, or DMs on Instagram, or in the comments on one of these videos, because I'll make a note of everyone that's coming so that we can try and make sure that we actually catch up with everybody. Let's see. Where am I? Aunt B's Creation says, Carol, I was thinking of the dress she made recently with the pink on the bottom. Yeah. You guys, that's a good idea, actually. That is a good idea. Maybe it might not. Oh, depends how much of that fabric I have. Might get a shirt and a top of a dress out of it. Oh, you guys are very clever. Alison says, I have a useful pincushion. Sean made me do it. And Silk says, in one of the couture books they suggest threading a bobbin thread back up through the sewing machine and then sewing from the tip of the dart. Keep meaning to try to see if it works. Oh, interesting. Paula says, slip stitching a lining to a bodice whilst hanging out with you guys. A long way to go, but I'm happy in your company listening in. Oh, thank you, Paula. I'm glad you're joining us. Silk says, I've been on a fabric ban since Christmas. Only succumbed once so far for some navy and lemon cotton sateen. I know the one you mean. I love that. I am Lady McElroy have released that print on a cotton, I think it's a cotton lawn, for £16 a metre. And Telio, if you want it from Telio, have got it on Amazon, because you can't get it from fabric.com anymore because they don't send to the UK anymore. But you can buy their fabric through Amazon, and it's £12 per metre for the cotton sateen. I have the mint green background, but I really want the navy as well. But it's still widely available, so I'm not succumbing as yet. But I know the one you mean. It's really pretty. Susan says to Hide and Silk, yes, it does work. I made a shirt with several outside darts, so it was really the only way to do them. Ah, interesting. And Jennifer says, Penelope almost typed a message. Shanna does that every now and again as well. And Carol says, Hide and Silk, I've seen that method shown on Insta recently. I'm going to have to investigate. Because, I mean, I've gotten into certain habits with the way that I sew certain things, like my darts and things like that. I just do it that way because that's how I've always done it, and it works for me. But I do like learning new things, so I shall have to have a look. I'm going to cough, excuse me. Lots of talking, getting a croaky voice. I'm going to sew these inseam legs seams, and then I'm going to unravel that fabric and see how much I have of it. Right, 1/2 inch seam allowances, not 5/8 of an inch. So a lot of you will have noticed that I haven't pressed my darts as yet. I like to do as many things at the sewing machine as I can until I have to get up and go to the ironing board. And so I'm going to sew these inseam leg seams together, but then I will need to press things because those seams, when they get sewn together, cross, so they need to be pressed before you sew them. And again, I know I'm teaching you how to suck eggs, but that's why I haven't got up to go and press anything as yet, because I haven't had to, but I will after I've sewn these 2 seams. Yeah, that pansy fabric's going to work really well with the things that I want to sew next month. You'll be seeing the fabrics on Tuesday. That's when that video is coming out. I turned the speed of my machine down because I was making buttonholes on the waistcoat the other day. I was wondering why it was going so slow. Like, what's going on? Not that you have to sew fast, but it's just like, why is my machine being slow at the moment? Right, that's one done. So I'm going to put in a way longer zip than the pattern recommends for these as well, because I always have to kind of think about, if I have to get something over my hips and up to my waist, how I'm going to do that. Does it go over my head, or will I need to put in a longer closure so that I can actually physically do that? Because the difference between my butt and my hips is substantial. Hang on, how many? It's 18-inch difference. So yeah, something that fits my waist usually means that it won't go over my hips unless I put a longer opening in. I need to go through my wardrobe as well. I was talking about this in the vlog the other day, but I need to go through my wardrobe and pick out all the little alterations that I need to do. There's quite a few. And they're all tiny little things. Like, I was thinking about that because there's a butterick dress that I've made that I love, but I just don't wear it because I put a zip in that's 22-inch zip, but because the dress is built up at the back of the neck, it means that the zip only goes 1.5 inches past the waistline, and it's nearly impossible to get it on and off. So I have to unpick the zip, and there's already a little hole at the bottom of the zip where I've ripped it when I was trying to get in and out of it. So I need to unpick the zip from rayon, which is going to be a pain already, and then put in a new zip, a new longer zip, which I need to try and find, because trying to find a longer invisible zip in a colour you want over 22 inches is not the easiest thing in the world. But I love that dress, and the only reason I haven't worn it is because it's difficult to get in and out of it. And then, like I said, I've got what other things? So like, there's a dress that I need to put some buttons on the back of. There's lots of little just tweaks that I want to make to things so that I wear them more. And that butterick dress, I love it, and I want to make more of it. And it was quite forgiving fabric wise as well. I think I got it out of 3 meters of quite a narrow rayon. I bought some fabric from Lamazi Fabrics, and they said that they only had 2.5 meters of it left, and I was kicking myself again for not buying it sooner, because it was one that I absolutely loved. And they put up a remnant for like 0.5 meter of the fabric that was left, so they actually had 3 meters of fabric in, and I was kicking myself for not putting a note on the order just saying, if you have more of it, I will buy more from you. They're reordering it in, but I think I can get the butterick 6380 out of 2.5 meters of fabric, so I'm thinking about making that one. Although I may order another 1.5 meters, so I could do one of my t-shirts and then just definitely have enough to line that dress with. Okay. So that's my inseam seams sewn. Let's not lose my trouser leg on the floor. Right, catch up with the chat because you've been chatting away whilst I've been sewing. Let's see. Where did I get to? Lottie says, I did really well with not buying any fabric until June, then accidentally bought all the fabric. Nothing wrong with that, Lottie. Hide and Seek says, thanks all, we'll definitely have a go at it. Awesome. Let us know how you get on. Laurel says, Helen of Stitch My Style advised sewing darts from the point first in one of her advent calendar tips. Haven't tried it yet, but ought to. I remember that one, yes. Nimaway says, I can recommend contrasting solid waistband and hembands for short lengths of fabric. That's how the apple skirt I shared on Friday happened. Baby sewer me only bought a meter of that print. Oh, bless. Yeah, I love that skirt. It's gorgeous. Anne says, I tried sewing from the point of the dart, but I prefer the other end and then sew and turn into the garment to lock it. See, this is the thing that I was saying earlier. There are so many ways to do the thing. None of them are the correct or only way. The correct way is the way that works best for you. I've gotten into the habit of sewing my darts from the outer edge into the point, sewing off the point and tying it in a knot. Lynn did tell me about, like, you know, slightly curving the dart in at the end to try and help with them become less pointy, which I've been doing as well. So there are loads and loads of different ways of doing a single operation, and whichever way you find that works best for you is the right way. Let's see. Christine says, I am pick whilst watching TV. Nice. Alison says to Hide and Silk, I have just posted a video about sewing the darts in the method you have in your couture book. Aunt Bee's Creation says, I've got to go to the hardware store with hubby. So glad to have you back live on Sunday morning. Thank you very much and have a lovely afternoon. And I shall see you next week. It's lovely to say that. Anne says, I've been working on my 5th muslin of a non-stretch ankle pant. Who knew non-stretch would be so difficult? Yeah, how very dare it. Susan says, good morning from Georgia. So glad to have you back. Good morning, Susan. Johanna says, thanks, Alison. I'm having trouble envisioning that method of sewing a dart. Gia says, oh my gosh, woke up early enough for this. Good morning from California. Very good morning. Must be very early there. Una says, I got £60 worth of vouchers for a fabric shop for my birthday, plus I got £50 in cash, which has already been spent on fabric. Nothing wrong with that at all. At all. Right, let's see how much of this I've got. Let's see if I can eke out a tiny little shirt dress from this, because it's nice and wide. I think I have 1 meter and 3/4. I'm just going to go, because I've actually marked on my table where how long 1 meter is. One of the good things about the top of this table being in paper at the moment, I could draw on it. I've got some crotch depth measurements written in one corner. Oh, I've got 2 meters and 25 centimeters. Do you know what? I still think what I'm going to do is a really big bishopy sleeved fitted shirt with this kind of notched collar on it. And then if I have enough, or the decent size scraps, then I'll do the top of a Gertie 6380. Didn't realize I had as much of this as I did. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Where is it from? It has writing on the selvage. FL558 Lawns, designed by Fabric Freedom in London, England. Never seen that on a selvage before. It rings 0 bells. But I just, oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, right, I need to turn the iron on. I should have done that while I was measuring that, shouldn't I? Multitasking. Oh, can put my clapper back now as well. Oh, do I need to put water in my iron? think I do. Oh, not much there. There we go. So you're all going to tell me that I should be making a dress out of that, aren't you? Una says, but I was very good and got 2 plain fabrics and a roll of toiling fabric. That is very good of you. Nimue says, I hand basted my darts with a ladder stitch for the first time recently. They came out much more precisely, and I've been fiddling so much more than. Hang on, try that again. And I've been fiddling so much more with the pinning. It doesn't even take that much more time. Ooh. Yeah, I've seen people doing that with kind of like historical sewing. Yeah, that actually that would be really good for like rayons and stuff as well. Laurel says, Nimue, I've done that and it works great. Jennifer says, go on Etsy and see if there's some random seller selling that fabric yarn. You never know, you might be able to score another meter. I look every now and again. I do check every now and again for pansy print fabrics. I do because I love that. But I do think I really do think that is going to look amazing as like the shirt that I've imagined, like with the sleeves from the 9345, nice tight deep cuffs, this kind of neckline, collar, even maybe even like my bigger 9345 really big pointy collar, and then kind of like a fitted shirt, because I think that's going to work really well. Mum's offered to knit me some knitted vests, which I think is going to look really cool, and my style is definitely leaning very 70s, which I think that's going to work really well with. And I think that kind of shirt with like these empire waist trousers in that denim would look brilliant. So yeah, I think because I had to set my mind on that being a shirt, I think I've kind of sold myself on it being that, and I think it will look really, 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 really amazing. But I think that's where I'm going with that one. I think that's 2 meters and 25 centimeters. I can't think of any dress with a full enough skirt that I would love it enough as much as I think I'm going to love that shirt. Does that make sense? I think it does. Una says, when you've got something in mind like your billowy sleeves, it's hard to switch away from that, so stick with your vision, Sean. Thank you, Una. Gia, wow, thank you very much. Gia has given me $15. Personally been good and not buying any fabric, but of course I have very generous friends who are destashing, so I acquired a lot. Thank goodness for blessings from others. Thank you very much, Gia. That's lovely of you. And yes, definitely lovely when people destash as well. Mum's friend that's just moved down from London has got a whole bunch of buttons for me. And initially I was just like, oh, I'm not sure if I want another random stash of just random buttons. And she's like, oh, but they've come from my Escada and Chanel clothing and stuff like that. Is that okay? And it's like, oh, I'll have a look. It's very kind of her. So yes, I'm going to get to see some fancy buttons. Jennifer says, thank you very much to Gia as well. Deb says, as a 70s teenager, I know the naught style, and yes, it will really suit you. I mean, technically, I am a child of the 70s. So, you know, I was born in the 70s. So I think, yeah. I definitely really, I mean, there's some things that I just probably won't ever go for, but a lot of the things that I've been pinning on Pinterest have been very 70s inspired. And I think Zimmerman, who is one of my favorite designers, is very 70s-esque, very 70s-esque in their designs as well. That's a video that I was thinking about doing, is going through some of my Pinterest boards with you guys and sort of like showing you where I get my inspiration from, because I know I do my Get the Look for Less videos, but they're like specific things that are available now, and like Pinterest is just random images that have been up on the internet forever and ever, as well as new stuff that's getting pinned all the time. And yeah, I was thinking about going through some of my Pinterest boards in a video and kind of showing you guys like how I get inspiration and what sort of things then trigger me going, oh, I have that fabric, oh, I could do that, well, this pattern would work for that. And some of my Pinterest boards have over like 1,700 pins on them. So I was thinking what I might do is kind of show you the evolution of how I started a couple of years ago, where my inspiration was then and how it's grown over time. And like then pinning things to new boards so that I start like a more curated collection from that. That's something I want to do anyway, but I just wondered if you guys might be interested in that as a video. My chat's gone. Where's it gone? 70s, not noughts, a CRE old keyboard. That's all right, Debs. I was thinking that's what you meant. Christine says, oh, that would be fun Pinteresting with you. I think it would be quite fun. I think it would be quite a fun sort of like endeavor, because like I say, I've been on Pinterest for quite a few years now. So there would be quite a few like evolutions of my style, because I've split things into like dress inspiration, skirts, jumpsuits, evening gowns, and that sort of thing. And like I say, some of them have thousands of pins on them from years over, so you can see an evolution of what I've been drawn to. Right, so I've got press machine open. Seams are pressed open, and then got to press my darts as well. And they get pressed towards the front. Okay, so there's one down. Get that. One giant trouser leg done. Let's do the other one. So glad I'm not sewing that shifty chiffon on camera, because I would be swearing at it a lot, I'm sure. Oh, would you guys like to see that sort of 2.5 meter length of rayon I got from Lamazi that I was talking about a little while ago as well? I mean, of course you would. It's fabric. Right, so inseam done. Let's do the darts. Sorry, I'm just talking back at the moment. One dart done. Let's do the other dart. Okay. Darts are done. I used a friction pen to mark this earlier, so I'm going to just mark the front again with a pin so that it doesn't completely disappear. This is the fabric I got from Lamazi, and I ordered 2.5 meters, and it turns out they had 3 left, and I wish they'd told me so I could have bought the extra ½ meter. I think I'm going to be able to get a Butterick 6380 out of this, but I'm very tempted to go and buy another 1.5 meters so I can get the 6563 t-shirt and then definitely the 6380 dress out of it, because I love it. And then this was the other fabric that I bought during my fabric buying ban. Came up on Dragonfly Fabrics the other day. It's a viscose linen. It is stunning. So there's 5 meters there, and I am not sure what I'm going to do with it. It was very easy to turn it into a Vogue 8577, but I'm thinking I might try and do something different with it. I've got to try and squeeze it back into the little cubby hole now. There we go. Right. So now I need to sew a zip into the back of my trousers. And I am going to use a long zip to do that. And I'm going to use a weird funky colour. Let's use that one. Okay, where did I get to with the chat? Coffee Muse says that she would love that. I'm guessing that was the Pinteresting idea. Hide and Silk says, have to go. So lovely enjoying everyone's company. Take care all. It was lovely to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Carolyn says, yes, I would find that very interesting, very Pinteresting. I like what you did there. Hide and Silk says, oh, thanks, Alison. I'll go and check it out. Cup Tup and So says, it's so good to have you back. Love the dress you're wearing, Diane. Thank you very much. Anne says, oh, that's gorgeous fabric. Alison says, put yourself out of your misery. Cut the extra 1.5 meters off that beautiful fabric. Dee says, I buy my zippers at Zipper Shipper. Don't know if they ship internationally or not. Ooh. I shall check them out. Thank you. Sorry, hay fever. Oh, hay fever is the worst. Yeah, I need to find a red 24, 25-inch zip, invisible zip. So let's sew in. Okay, so this is I am wrestling with this thing. Okay, so that's the front, and that's the front, so that's the side seam. Okay, so my zip needs to go in the back here. So let's pin that in. And again, I need to remember 1/2-inch seam allowance. Probably should have added the extra 1/8 of an inch and made them 5/8 of an inch seam allowances. Just to make my life easier, because that's what I always sew with. So yeah. Alison says cut. I mean get. Yeah, I got what you mean. Jane says Pinterest, yes please. Julie's here. Hey lovely peeps. Hi Julie, how are you, my lovely? Yeah, it seems like you guys are interested in the Pinterest idea, which is good because it's something, like I say, that I want to do anyway, like reorganize my Pinterest feed a little bit. But I thought it would be quite fun to kind of go through it with you guys. So I'm glad you're up for that idea. Okay, so I'm going to increase the stitch length of putting in this zip so it's easier to take out, because this is just a wearable muslin. So gonna go. So we are on that foot. Want the needle there, please. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to finish the insides of my trousers, because as you guys know, I like to French seam everything, which isn't going to be a possibility with some of the seams, especially in the 9257s around the fly area. Okay, so I'm not going to sew that all the way down. I'll sew that to there. Then I'll make a mark on this other side of the zipper to show where I've sewn it to, because this zip is too long for these trousers. So I need like a 12-inch zip, but I only have 9-inch or 16-inch zip, so I've put a 16-inch zip in. Right. So now which ones are the front? Okay, I should be able to work this out by lying them wrong sides together. So wrong sides together. Giant bits of fabric. So this is the front. That is the front. So right sides together. Pretend this is all pinned together. I'm going to pin it together so that I don't sew the wrong bits to each other, because we've all seen me do that before. Do you remember me sewing that zip into that Anna dress, the bewitched fabric? Oh my god, everything that could go wrong did go wrong with that one. Right. So just trim off those threads because I don't need that much thread getting in the way. That can go. That can go. There we go. Right, let's get this zip sewn in to the other side. Then I can sew the rest of the crotch seam. Yeah. I need to use a chalk marker to mark the zip because my marking has kind of disappeared. It's there. Okay. Right, so move my needle over. Here we go. The other side sewn in. I talk to myself like this when you guys aren't here as well. If I'm down here by myself, it makes me feel better. Okay. Okay. Oh, my presser foot was at an angle under my foot. That nearly went horribly wrong. Yes, I'm going to have to order myself some 12-inch zips and then try and track down a longer 25-inch invisible zip in red. Anyone know of anywhere that sells those? Come on. This is where we find out I've done this wrong. Wouldn't surprise me because I'm not 100% concentrating, but never mind. It'll be fine. Because I have put the stitch length up to 4, so it's going to be really easy to unpick this once I've tried it on. Let's just make sure. Yep, that works. Right, so pin the rest of the crotch seam. Then I'm done with these as much as I can be without trying them on. And as I mentioned, I love you guys, but you do not get to see me in my underwear in see-through trousers. Because, you know, it's just not gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. So, let's see. Let's pin this up. Where are we at with the chat? Where are we at with the chat? Ooh. Where do we go? Where do we go? Julie says, I'm very good, love. Just come home from work. Thank you for joining us. Susan says, bought a new Benina and overlocker. Now have lost my sojo or extreme fear of new machines. Any suggestions? So I'm knitting while watching. I know exactly what you meant. I didn't use this for the first 6 months that it arrived. I used my little Singer. I was terrified of this. Absolutely terrified. And I went and did a 2-day course learning how to use it and was still terrified of it. And then found out, because I'd left it for 6 months, the bobbin sensor, no, sorry, the thread sensor was broken and it kept telling me the thread wasn't working. So it would sew 7 stitches and then stop. So I had to go and have the thread sensor fixed and I had to pay for it. That was hilarious. So yeah, I know what you mean about being terrified of new machines. But once I got over my fear and started playing with it, I love this thing. So suck it up and get over it is a bit harsh, but just try. Just try, like, do what I'm doing, get some calico out and, have a play with it. I think one of the things I did, I went through all the decorative stitches and just started playing with those and seeing what came out, and just having like a not having to create anything specific with it, but just have a play with it. I love mine now. Totally love mine. I mean, I had my overlocker, my Bernina overlocker, for 5 years before I plucked up the courage to use that. So I totally get it. They're so worth it once you've actually gotten them, out and started playing with them. They are totally worth it. So Susan, just do it. Julie says, what are you sewing today? Decades of Style Empire Waist Trouser Muslin. Eleanor says, did you see my email from Friday? I sent info on new high waist wide leg trousers from the assembly line. Looks like what you want. Yes, I did. Thank you, Eleanor. I haven't replied yet, but I have seen it, and they do look really good. Thank you for thinking of me. Gia says, watching you sew feels so good right now. I'm on a long weekend away taking care of my grandparents, and all I want to do is make something on my machine. Guess I'll have to make do with hand sewing. Yeah, but that's I hope your grandparents are well, and get back to your machine soon. Coffee Muse says, this was my first hangout with you. It was fun. It's midnight now. Better go to bed. Thanks, Sean. Good night, and thank you for joining us. Eileen says, just reflecting on how much better the light is in this room, as well as the internet connection. I've been enjoying the chat, but busy sewing a ringer style t-shirt which needs some care. Yeah, the light is so much better in here, isn't it? It's brilliant. And I'm glad that the internet hasn't played up once. And now that I've said that, of course, it immediately will. So touch wood. But yes, it's so. The sewing room is a vast improvement on what we had before, 100%. Anne says, good night to Coffee Muse. F3 says, don't be scared for new machines. Just take a scrap of fabric and start playing, and keep a manual at hand and make a nice stitch guide. Yes. Julie says, I do too. Talk to myself about what to do next. Glad it's not just me. Sloth says, ditto to talking to myself all the time, telling myself what to do next. Words of encouragement. I'm glad that it's not just me. Gia says, people pay extra for that, lols. Julie says, oh, come on, Sean, we want to see you try on the pants. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Anne says, which machine do you have? I have the Janome 6700P and a Baby Lock Elissimo, which I love. Mine's the Bernina 830, and I love her. She is amazing. Jennifer says, I love hand sewing. I find it really relaxing. Sherry says, can you do a tutorial on how to French seam trousers? Please. You have encouraged me to use French seams on most garments. I will try and work it out for you. There will be a lot that you won't be able to French seam, for example, around a fly area, but you can use really pretty bias binding to make those areas look better. So I am going to experiment with finishing techniques on trousers, and I will indeed let you know how I get on. And if I find a way that I like and works for me, I will make a tutorial of it. But sewing trousers, like more fitted trousers, is a new thing for me. So it might take a while for me to get to the point where I feel confident enough to be like, yeah, this is how I do this thing, and this is how it works for me. So yes, but maybe not for a while. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, hay fever sucks. It started out at 18 degrees in here, and it's currently 21.5 degrees, and there's no heating on in here. It's just me being in here and the iron being on. Oh, and the neighbours just started mowing their lawn. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Okay. Right. Okie dokie. So that crotch seam is all pinned into place. Get my jewel feed back down. I watched a video the other day of somebody who mentioned that they never use a walking foot, and they find that because they've learned how to manipulate the fabric in such a way that they've never needed to use a walking foot. And it was kind of like, okay, but surely you would use anything that gives you an advantage. And I suppose if you've got a machine that doesn't have dual feed or doesn't have a walking foot on it, and you've never used one, and you've gotten to the point where you can make the fabric do what you want without it, then sure, why would you start using a walking foot? But I love my dual feed. I mean, again, like a proper walking foot on this machine is actually quite bulky, like quite a big contraption that goes on it. And this dual feed that comes down at the back here to help feed the fabric along, this little doodad here, is obviously a lot slimmer and sleeker and involved, and you know, not such a giant undertaking to put the thing on. But I do like it. I do like it. Going around my curves. These are some big trousers. Ooh, I dropped a pin on the floor. That's no good. Right, where's Wally? And the floor is lava, all in one go. But if you find Wally, he will stab you. I love that little meme. Okay. Around my crotch seam. So I am fully prepared to, if one of the methods of finishing for my trousers that I end up liking is overlocking, I'm willing to try that. And I also have some rainbow overlocking thread, which is going to make the inside of my trousers look really pretty. Being a bit lazy, she's doing that with a zipper foot, but never mind. It's fine. Okay, so my trousers. Oh, hello. Attacking myself with the scissors there. Right, so if I had leggings that I could put on to try these on for you guys, I would, but I don't have any leggings. So this is my plan, which I think you guys can see here. So I'm going to put these on, and then I'm going to pin this side piece, which, oh God, this is the largest size that this trouser comes in, so I really hope these fit. Obviously I've got like a lot of fabric underneath here with my dress and stuff on. But so I'm going to put these on and then pin the side seams into place and sew those to then work out if I have to take anything off. They have to be, there we go. The high-waisted. That's better. So I've already, my last muslin let me know that I'd got the crotch depth correct, because I added 1 3/4 to the crotch depth. So my last muslin did at least tell me that. So these ones, like I said, God, I hope they fit over my hips. If they don't, then back to the drawing board. Be adding extra onto the air sides. But yeah, that's the plan, is to try those on, pin them at the sides, sew it, and see how that comes out. So that's as far as I can get with these ones without trying them on. And like I say, this fabric is see-through, and I am wearing black underwear, so that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to go blow my nose, and then I'm going to start on the 9257s. So 2 secs. Oh. Hay fever sucks. Hay fever sucks so much. Right. Now, the 9257s, I've done something different with these ones. So these ones pretty much fit me out the packet. They were just tight over my hips. And I had sewn the front pleats down because I thought that would be more flattering. I actually released the pleats and they fit really well with the pleats released, but they were so poofy at the front that I'm not sure I like that. So I want the option of sewing the pleats down. So I've done a full hip adjustment on these ones, and I've added 1.5 inches to the hip. So 3 inches basically the whole way around on the hips. So we're going to see how these ones turn out. And like I say, with these ones, I've only cut them that long because I know the length is good. I just need to work out how to get them to fit me on the top half around the hips. So we're going to try those ones next. Let's see, where did we get to with the chat? Sherry says, thank you, Sian. Really look forward to your tutorials. I'm so glad you find them helpful. Anne says, will you let us know what adjustments you make and why, since no show with muslin, bless you? Yes, totally. Like I said, when I just showed it to you now, that's literally what I've done, is sew it up so that I can try it on and then pin the side seams onto me to kind of just work out what size I need, because that way I won't need to try and grade between sizes. I just trace the largest size. It works with the Decades of Style because the center front seam doesn't have any adjustments to it. It's just all of the extra width comes for the extra sizes comes on the side seams of the pattern. I don't think this method would work with other types of trousers, but it will work for this one. Gia says, was that someone Evelyn Wood? She's just amazing. Yes, like how she manages to make fabrics, shifty fabrics, behave without dual feed, I don't know, but yes, exactly who it was, Gia. And says, are these pants a baggy style or more fitted? I'm not familiar with Decades of Style. Hang on, let me show you. So they are fitted over the waist at the top of the hips and then full legged from there with cuffs at the bottom. Noelia says, agree about getting the right feet for your sewing machine if you can. For the longest time, I kept sewing invisible zips with a normal zipper foot. It took me sewing my finger twice to bite the bullet and get the invisible zipper foot. Now I can't believe I hadn't got it earlier. Yeah, I love my invisible zipper foot. Yes. And ouch to sewing over your fingers. Susan says, thanks, I needed that. This is my second Benina, so I know I'll love it. And the new serger, is amazing. I'm going to go up and make something today. Really love all your new makes. You rock dresses. Thank you. And Anne says, ouch to Noelia, I think. Una says, just tried on the Skipper bodysuit trial and realised that when I decided to add some width to the crotch, I forgot the pattern was on the fold. Whoops. And Stuart says, I have to decide whether to replace my dead husky serger with a cheap and adequate brother or G-key. Think with air feed. The dollar is the problem. The money is the problem. I've only ever had the Benina 1150 MDA serger, and I love it. It was the top of the range price for that model, and from what I've heard, cheaper sergers are not the economy that they claim to be. So if the more expensive one is a reality, I would go for that. But I would also go to your local dealer and ask to play with their machines and what they recommend for your budget, because I think you should get to try these things before you spend that amount of money on them, for sure. Sal says, Sian just took her pants off live. Yeah, that's why I'm not trying those on. Una says, love that dress with the cardigan on you, Sian. Picks up the colours lovely. Thank you very much. Yes, this is my hot pink one. Kind of coming across a little bit red, but it is hot pink. Alison says to Anne, I have the basic brother serger and it's a little workhorse. It's easy to thread, so if you can't get the G-key, consider the basic brother. And Anne says, thanks. Anne Other Anne says, I'm curious about your fit method for the crotch. I'm short in the front crotch and so pants ridiculously long in the back crotch. Okay, so my method is that I measure from the waist to the waist on myself, tight against my body, not like pulled tight, but taut against my body. And then I measure the crotch depth on the trousers, draw in the seam allowance and measure the actual stitching line on the trousers to get the crotch length on that, and then work out the difference. I've written this down, so let's see. So my crotch depth was 32, the trousers was 29.5, and I wanted a inch of wearing ease, which might be too much, but I'd rather go too much than too little, because there's nothing worse than trousers that are too tight in that area. And so I've gone for 33. So that was where I got the 1.5 inches extra that I needed to add. And then I picked a point. Some patterns will have a lengthen and shorten crotch line and some don't. So I pick a point and just do it from there. And then that's literally how I do it. And I add the same to the front and the back, because patterns are technically already balanced for you, so that there should be a deeper crotch length at the back because there's the bum to consider, and then should the crotch line at the front should be shorter. So you're saying short in the front crotch and so pants ridiculous in the back crotch. Yeah, so obviously you'll need to play around with it if you aren't in proportion the way that the pattern thinks that you should be. Again, I am not an expert. This is I am fitting trousers for the first time for 7 years. Like the last pair of trousers that I properly made were the biggest, widest legged trousers, so they didn't need to fit at the hips. They just needed to fit the crotch and the waist. And as I say, most patterns are already balanced to have more room in the back because of your butt than they do at the front. So if you need to add length to a crotch, then you should just add it equally, so that, because the balance is already there. But if you need to mess around with the balance, then I would recommend a fitting book. I have the complete photo guide to perfect fitting as a fitting book, which I do get out every now and again. I think there are specific ones for trousers, and I would recommend ones which have got lots of photos in, because I find that very helpful. For when they're describing something, I would rather see a picture of what they're describing than just a block of text, because I find that very difficult to interpret. So again, I am no expert, but that would be how I would tackle that. I hope that kind of made sense. Susan says, good night all, looking forward to next live chat. Good night, Susan, thank you for joining us. Sloths and Orchids says, loved hanging out with you guys, we've got to dash now. Thank you so much for a wonderful sewy chatty afternoon. Thank you for joining us. And says, I have a Baby Lock Acclaim serger, it's amazing. And Noelia says, yes, it was very painful to sew my finger, but it didn't put me off sewing. Once you catch the bug, it never goes away, does it? No, definitely not. Julie says, I think I need to get my sewing machine serviced. I soon have my birthday, so perhaps I should wish for help with that. Ooh, yes, that would be a good birthday present. Alison says, I also have an old Baby Lock overlocker that I got off eBay. It's amazing, but I could never thread it. However, the other day I decided to persevere, and to dart, I did it. Oh, awesome. And Julie says, yay, Alison, good work. Alison says, the overlocker is currently at a technician as the timing is out, but it's a beauty of a machine and will sew anything. Awesome. And says, thank you, that was very helpful. Gin and Pin says, I'm back. I've got ham, cheese, fruit, yogurt, honey, and Prosecco to welcome the solstice tomorrow. Lovely. Very nice. So, yeah. Ooh. Oh, I think I paused myself quite a while ago. There we go. I was wondering why my screen had got frozen. I thought, oh no, the internet's gone. But no, I had paused myself. I don't know how I managed to do that. Never mind. How are we doing? 3.5 hours. Wow. I am getting a bit tired. My throat is starting to really hurt from all the chatting. Yeah, I need to ease myself into this again. Hey, 3.5 hours isn't too bad, is it? next week we'll aim for a little bit longer, but I'm kind of wanting to fit those trousers, and like I say, I'm not going to do it on camera because no, but I will do it when I'm off camera, and I will report back and let you know how it goes. And yes, but I think I am going to call it a day for now, because my throat hurts. While I'm chatting. It has been lovely catching up with you guys, though. It's been really, really fun. I'm so glad that we've been able to work out how to get this done down here. So there will be, like I say, many more of these. There will be one next Sunday. In fact, there's going to be, I think, up until the weekend of the 6th of August. Oh, no, the weekend, the 30th of July as well. There won't be one that weekend because I'm going to be in sunny Nunny. Although we may well do a live hangout with Big Bird Mum and Big Bird's mum, and show you guys what we get. We could possibly do that. We'll have to see what we end up doing that weekend, but we will definitely be doing hangouts up until those weekends, because it's just been awesome. And Gia's just sent me another $10. Thank you very much, Gia. To you guys, this has been amazing. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Let me just catch up with the chat because I've a little bit left. Laurel says Threads magazine published a very helpful book called Fitting for Every Figure. Checked it out at the library and loved it so much I bought it. Ooh, good knowledge, Laurel. Thank you. Alison says I have the perfect fitting book. It's great, as well as Fabric Savvy book. I love them. I love the Fabric Savvy book as well. Anna says, had a nightmare with pattern wearing history. First, the PDF was wrong. The crotch depth was huge. Spent too much wasted time on it. So better like in the real fabric after all my reconfigurations. Oh, good luck with that, Anna. Jen and Pin says, how much did you get sewn? I sewed a pair of trousers. I mean, sort of. Like 1, 2, 3 seams, 4 darts and a zip. That's what I got done in 3.5 hours. That's perfectly fine. Christine says, goodbye, Sean. Nimue says, it was lovely to spend Sunday afternoon like this again. Thank you, Nimue. It was nice to see you. Alison says to Julie, thank you. My husband took pity on me and bought me a brother overlocker. And Stuart says, great to have you back. And says, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my first time. Hope it wasn't too chatty. You were just chatty enough, and the chattier the better. And thank you for joining us. Noelia says, bye. Thanks for this, Sean. Hope you have a lovely week. Bye. Caroline says, I've missed this so much. Noelia says, we like chatty people. Anne's just sent me £8 from coffee as well through PayPal. Thank you very much, you guys. I always feel really crass sort of saying, you know, I have a coffee account, or if you would like to tip, but it is very much appreciated. Thank you. It really, really does all make a difference. So thank you very much. Julie said we should make these a community friend, perhaps make a Zoom call with 3 or 4 people, then we can help each other out with sewing chat and talky bits. Definitely, that'd be great. Little Zoom chats between you guys is totally awesome. Yes, I'm going to continue to do these on YouTube because these are a monetary video for me, which I'm sorry if that sounds mercenary, but it is, like I say, my job. So that's why I continue to do these on YouTube. I am going to try and look into seeing if I can make it more interactive and live stream a Zoom at the same time. I don't really know very much about Zoom, so I will look into it. Caroline says it would be amazing to hang out with you all. Alison says, good night, Sean. Please, can you give me my new address as your parcel came back to me? Love to Chiana, Susie, Maya, and Binks send purrs. I shall send you an email, Alison, but I'm not giving out the new address, but there is a PO box on the island, so I will be able to get at it. Julie says, you've been missed. Oh, thank you. Carolyn says, don't forget to click like before you go. So show sweet chance and love. Have a good day, evening. Thank you so much. Stephanie says, thank you so much for doing this. I've enjoyed listening while I do my dreaded gathering and slip stitching for a sleeve cuff. Thank you for joining us. Viv says, it's been lovely hearing from you, watching you whilst I'm tracing off some patterns and cutting fabrics while also making flapjacks. Your cake inspired me. You have been very busy. Jane says, loads of fun, thank you. Made PJ bottoms, top cut out in result. Nice. Karen says, I've been knitting and enjoying all the chat. Thanks and have a great week. Thank you, Karen, and it's lovely to see you. Sal says, thanks, Shiny Peeps. Now I can sleep. Good night, Sal. Julie says, me too. Alison says, good night, Peeps. Kathy says, love listening to the chat. Have a nice live hangout again. Julie says, I feel very awkward telling people about my coffee account. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Una says, there's a sewing Zoom chat tomorrow night I shared in my Insta stories earlier. There you go. There's another one to hang out at. Julie says that Zoom on YouTube can be made. Laurel says, loving the hangout. I've missed these. And Jennifer says she's off to work on some aprons. So on that note, I am going to go. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been absolutely wonderful to hang out with you all again. Hopefully my voice will last longer next week and we can go for a bit longer than the 3.5 hours, but it has been very much fun. So on that note, I have a good week and I shall see you all on Tuesday. Bye.